till you bottle. Ride it on the edge. One mistake away from gravel. Glory's ledge. Push it past the limit. Don't you lift or break. If you're not dancing with disaster, you're not wide awake. Throttle till you bottle. This is how we race. In the fire of endurance, we find our place. Side by side into turn 3. Drafting down the straight like we're born to be. F1 pace with an LMP soul. Pit stop dreams, flat out goals. Overtake clean or defend like hell. DRS wide and the gap won't dwell. Discord's lit, but the track comes first. Champions are built where the tires burst. Throttle till you bottle. Feel the G's rise. Tearing through the sim world under pixel skies. No reset button, just grit and gears. Through the heat and the heartbreak, the wins and the tears. Till you bottle. It's the racer's creed. Full send in the sim, full heart at speed. From rookies to vets, we ride the storm. In lobbies where legends are born. Camaraderie and chaos, rivals and mates, one shared love. Those checkered flag fades. Throttle till you bottle. Ain't no turning back. Burn the line till the screen fades black. In this digital circus, we chase the flame. One wheel spin closer to fortune or fame. Throttle till you bottle. That's our name. Sim racers united in the ultimate game. Sim racers united in the ultimate
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. The tremendous town of TTYB, we are gracing its very presence once again. However, it is trouble in Throttle to Your Bottle Town because we warned you. Chicanes and carnage, they're the 2 clues we gave. And if you're in the lobby, you will well know. We're off to Montreal by the St. Lawrence River, the Canadian Grand Prix. What a venue, another ounce of mystery just sprinkled onto your very scene. My name's Carl, alongside me of course is Rio Harris. Rio, welcome in. Canadian Grand Prix poses a different kind of challenge of course to Suzuka. It's going to be an interesting one.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. The one thing that you now have to worry about in terms of Canada, track limits. I think this is probably out of all the circuits, the track where you are most vulnerable to track limits because you have to be so aggressive on the curbs to find the maximum lap time. And going from Suzuka to Canada, it's 2 different circuits. Like you said, the clues were carnage and chicanes. There are quite a lot of chicanes here, isn't there?
There are quite a few, and I'm also seeing already some protestations, quite frankly, from a couple of people saying it's bugged, it's broken. Well, let me tell you something. I've done this track in the 2026 cars, and I experienced no problems. So all I'm saying is, don't go over the track limits and you'll probably be fine. So, Canada is round the corner, but first we need to talk about championships. First of which, I'll go to reverse order, the Constructors' Championship, which has got quite interesting because McLaren lead, but the gap at the top is reduced. Haas, of course, had a great week last week. Yuri and Arthur Way taking a 1-2 finish. History made for Haas, and a brilliant piece of execution by the pair of them.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt it was Arthur Way was so close to his first victory, but nonetheless, it was still maximum points for the Haas outfit. And I mean, yeah, they've stride massively more ahead in the Tier 1 constructors, in the combined as well. That gap between McLaren, it's game on, and it's game on in the combined, isn't it? Now, what is it? 35 points between McLaren and Haas. With 2 tiers, that could just go in an instant. Even a 60-point lead could go in an instant because of the point system here. What was it? 30 points for a win. If Haas double DNF and say if McLaren double DNS and Haas gets like a P1, they're 5 points behind. It's all just changed at the snap of our fingers.
Oh, for sure. Yes, 35 points, quite right, between Haas and McLaren. Not a great week for Cadillac, though. That gap's compressed. Racing Bulls, Red Bull, Audi, and even Ferrari, again, having another set of good weeks. They've all caught up as well, so there's real compression happening in the middle of the championship as well, as we're well past halfway through this season. It gets about being consistent now. That's why we see Yuri at the top of the Drivers' Championship. That's why we see Haas catching up to McLaren. Consistency is going to pay off in droves.
Yeah, oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. It's funny you mentioned the Drivers' Championship. Is there? I mean, there's not long. Maybe maybe next round or the round after, Yuri could actually wrap it up. He's what, 48 at 37. That's 85, I believe. No, for 75, 85, around that. That's how far he is clear of Sheehan in the Drivers' Championship. So you've got to say this is basically now Yuri's title to lose in terms of the Drivers' Championship.
Couldn't agree more with you. Round number 8, of course, out of 12. What a season we've had so far, and it's only going to get even more spectacular. Because now it's time for the race. Canada, and in rather un-TTYB-like fashion, there's not a sprint, there's not even a qualifying. It is reverse grid. And that throws another cat amongst the pigeons, because now Yuri's got to do it all the way from the back of the grid.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, someone who this actually might favour, the reigning champion Sheldonby, he started from the back at every single race. He knows what it's like to carve his way through the field, and he's been fine for victories all the time. And in a 100% race, he was doing those in 35% race. No, not 35. What am I about? 50% races, sorry. Fighting through the field to get back to the front. He's got a 100% race. He's got double the length to do it. So surely, out of everyone, Sheldonby must be one of the favourites today.
Couldn't agree more with you. Has not won a race this season. Of course, has started from the back at every opportunity. Has been relinquished of that particular punishment, self-imposed, because now reverse grid means the order looks like this. TM swung you. Don't know what that means. I don't think I want to know. But they're first. The Thailand of Solar Cindy is in P2 for Red Bull, with Osman getting a podium on debut last time out. Starts in that fairy tale position of P3 on the grid for this one. Jensen Hookie in 4th, with Hazard rounding out the top 5. Nola, Herbie, Highwire, Mackie, and Jamaican Ethan Lorgamiman in P10. Rest of the grid looks like this. Of course, a slew of reserves, and even Katie is amongst us, which is wonderful to see. By the way, we do have, it was an apology to Gravel Traps last week, we do have a punishment for this week as well, or a penalty, quote unquote. We're not going to tell you what it is, though. We'll just sprinkle it in, see if you can, decipher the code on that one.
Yeah, because you really class it as a punishment. It's not like a challenge, is it? It's a funny little challenge we have to do.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about the challenge last week, so I was bamboozled when you started saying an apology to Gravel Chats. But yeah, it's going to be fun, whatever this challenge is. But something I am more excited for is the racing here today. We ain't got 35, we've got 70 laps around the Canadian Grand Prix. And if real life's anything to go, but I think it was 28 lap scrap between the two silver arrows. If we get anything like that today, I will be buzzing off my seat.
I certainly hope so. I mean, it's going to be a completely different dynamic, of course. You've got the very top dogs of TTYB trying to carve their way through the field, but that's the tricky bit. Canada, you don't really have much free real estate to work with. It's all about that battery management towards the end of the lap, in particular, down towards the final chicane, past the wall of champions. You save your battery there, you've got a great chance, and the top guns are all going to have to use that to their advantage today.
Oh yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. But don't get too greedy on the Wall of Champions, because it does like to rip off your tyre if you hit it wrong. But yeah, I mean, the most crucial thing here today will be the track limits. I mean, there's so many corners. What is it? You have if you're too greedy, you can cut turn 1. You can cut turn, I believe it's turn 3, and you can also maybe cut the inside at turn 6, turn 8 and 9 as well, and then also the final chicane. You can cut about 60-70% of these corners here today. It's going to be, at this rate, it's probably going to be consistency over speed, isn't it? If you're a bit slower but save your time on the track limits, you should be fine and actually gain probably maybe 2-3 positions.
Exactly, yes. And if for those of you that watched the Tier 2 race around Canada, overtakes into the hairpin can be done. Just don't do it like a cruise missile. We are watching. We don't want Ryan 2.0. And now, strategy. I mean, you could call any kind of strategy, but there is no doubt in my mind there's going to be safety cars. So do you go bold and brazen and try and get those soft tyres on early, make some quick progress, safety car comes out, and then it opens up the rest from there?
I mean, that's exactly what I love about 100 races. Every tire is a viable option. Obviously, like you don't really want to be on the soft still, but I mean, something I'm looking at in terms of like strategy on the race director. The top three, all different tires. The Pulsar is currently on the softs. Lucas in P2, so it's in the currently on the hards. Then Osman is currently on the medium. So if we start like this with 3 different compounds, it's going to be a massive strategy, and it's obviously, like you said, safety cars will probably be a certain. But it'd be nice to see what different strategies people go with if we don't get one.
Exactly. I mean, you've got Chowdenby and Sheehan going soft tires, getting those out of the way so they can open up the strategy later, potentially. Infinity Candy 8, as now he's called. I'm still going to keep Infinity Candy Flop. I'm sorry, my friend. Although, 2 podiums on, well, close to 2 podiums on the bounce it was. It was a win at the Bahrain Grand Prix, though. He is no slouch. You've got Yuri, though, on the medium tyres, going maybe a bit longer in proceedings. It's going to be brilliant, though. Absolutely brilliant. And we're going to predict the race winner. And I think the race winner is actually going to be Infinity. I'm just putting it out there. I think he's got the sauce.
Oh, God. I mean, if I'm going to go based on Japan, I think it's going to be Osman. Starting third, he's got such a good shot here. You can't even count out Solar Cindy as well. Jensen, he's had so much misfortune. Is today he finally breaks his curse. But if I had to choose one, I'm gonna say Shaunby because he started at the back every time. He knows what it's like to carve the field, and I'm sure Shaunby can easily get maybe to P7 at the end of that one. He's got the talent, he's got the speed. Surely he can find his way up there.
I couldn't agree more with you. Also, Yuri, I think, can do it as well, because if you hark back to just last season, where he kept his championship very much alive in that season at Austria, went all the way down to last technical issues, had to work his way all the way back up to the front, and that he did. Also, coincidentally, in a 100% race, that was just on the cusp of 70 laps worth of distance. We await the atmosphere to amp up on the grid. We've waited for a while, and that's because in the TTYB announcements, there has been the biggest wall of text to stop people from readying up. Tier 1, of course, very compliant in that. One of our other potential challenges was to do a 3-hour lecture on not readying up. I'll be honest, that wasn't going to happen. That's a long old time. We have got another thing, though. See if you can spot it for yourselves. The run down to turn 1 is going to be a short one, but then the duration to a first safety car might be a short one as well. Make sure, if you aren't already, that you are following this wonderful Twitch channel. Join the Discord. All of that lovely, lovely stuff. In a few moments' time, it will be green light. Away we go. All that good stuff. Announcements say we are starting at 12 past, and it is 12 past. Great news, because now it's going to happen. And Benji says, don't forget to sub for free feet pick from Carl Andrit. Right, Benji, that's not going to happen, just to be quite clear. He's also saying that Katie's going to be taken out the exact same way. Now, you see, that's why Katie's starting last, because she can't possibly be taken out. It's smart.
I mean, don't jinx it. She could be absolutely obliterated. She might forget the break. Who knows?
Oh,
We're
no.
going into turn 1, so there's always a chance here. It's TTYB that everyone here will throttle until they bottle. It's the question of who will be the first to bottle here in Montreal.
Extreme Vietnam flashbacks from Katie. She turns into the very enemy she swore to destroy. 5 red lights at the Canadian Grand Prix. McLaren on the right, Red Bull on the left. Lights out, and away we go. And it's a good start from the McLaren driver. Infinity already gaining 2 places. In the mid-pack, McLaren streaks off into the distance. It's Osman trying to take the advantage. Brief contact between the Red Bull and the Ferrari, and Jensen Hookie could pick up the pieces. Osman through into P2. Cindy relinquishes the 2nd place position as they all try and make their way through safely. Infinity already up to P8. Chowdenby and Sheehan also making great progress down the inside. Goes the Ferrari driver. Make that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think, places gained in a slew of corners for the Ferrari man. Excellent, excellent progress in the early stages. Herbie also trying to get through. Big bounce over the curbs from Solar Cindy as Sheehan gets the better of Chowdenby. A race towards the hairpin. Do you dare to burn, or do you sit in behind? Herbie's burn. He's got it all wrong. Big blunder in the braking zone. He's taken out a slew of cars. Osman's been caught up in the crossfire, and already we have low grip restricted. It's a virtual safety car.
It's all going a bit Gregorian here in Montreal on the opening lap, and well, luckily for the Pulsar, he's got away cleanly. But Lucas, who has started on that hard tire, half a front wing gone already, so he's going to come in. There was an absolute pile up there at the hairpins. And you see, look at all the splits in the train. I think there's some maybe illegal overtake shenanigans going on at the rear of the field. Osman with a 10-second penalty for a collision. And our race leader's got a 3-second. It's a full safety car now. Full safety car has come out, and our race leader's got a 3-second penalty already under the safety car conditions.
There's a lot of penalties raining in. 10, there's a lot of 10 seconds. Sheehan's got a 10 seconds, and so has Chowden B. As we're getting the pit lane graphical glitch, so I'm not going to watch that. The main thing is, those on the soft compound tyres have been able to box early doors. They've got rid of that tyre. Everybody else, a bit of an equaliser here, because loads of people peeling into the pit lane. So if you had the softer tyres on, doesn't really matter. Apparently Hazard is in first. Not quite correct, I'll be honest with you. As Chowdenby is retired and is out of the session, I can only suspect that means one thing, and that is we might be restarting. That's my only... Unless something has really gone wrong, but I'm puzzled by that. Very puzzled.
I'm just trying to have a look. Chowdenby's still in the lobby. There's nothing on the announcement, so I'm just trying to see what's going on terms of Chowdenby's, and I can't see anything in any chat, so it must have been maybe just frustration for out of retirement. I have absolutely no idea. While you continue on this, I'm going to try and see. Katie's also now left as well.
It's a restart. So. Katie's put it in the Twitch chat. That is it. We've only got 2 laps worth of the Canadian Grand Prix, and it is an absolute shambles. It is a complete shambles. Well, I think we've all learned a very important lesson from that first race, and that important lesson is don't brake too late for the hairpin, otherwise everything breaks.
Yeah, exactly. I'm kind of confused why we have got the restart, because apart from the pileup, I don't think there was really much wrong. We had this pit lane bug was normal. I'm kind of confused on why we've got this restart actually.
I saw Osman stuck in the pit lane. He couldn't get out of his box. So that might be why. Is my only theory. That's my guess anyway. Pit lane conundrums have put a very cutthroat stop to the Canadian Grand Prix. Early doors, it's the safety car bug. There's only 6 drivers left in the session, one of which is Fortis is currently P1 as it stands, which is excellent progress. Whether he's got the message, he just wants the race win. Fair play to him. Mackie, though, has just snatched the lead off him under safety car. That's pretty bad. Look at this. Williams in P1. However, there's it's anarchy, basically. People need to stop overtaking the safety car. Well, oh man, I have news for you. They're doing it because we're having a restart. That's the only reason why. Mercedes has now been disqualified, and we're back to square one at the Canadian Grand Prix. There we go.
That was a trailer, wasn't it? It was a trailer for what's to come. Rinse and repeat. Will it be for the second time we go around? There's people questioning if the track's changing. Yeah, I think we had the same in Singapore, didn't we? So we just go again. Luckily, this time it's only lap 1, so we can just go do one more hurrah. I mean, technically, we are actually kind of still on schedule, because we would technically still be in qualifying if it was a normal race. But nonetheless, we will probably get going in, if I had to presume, maybe 10 minutes time. Yes. So we've got plenty of time to waffle about what could happen in the second go.
We do indeed. Well, I think we got a pretty good indication of what was going to happen. We saw everyone who started on the soft tyres had a great start, particularly Infinity, who got all the way up to the sharp end of the grid. So excellent progress from him. Also, Chowdenby and Sheehan making good progress as well. If they started on the soft compound tyres, it all paid off handsomely for them. But now they've got to do that work all over again.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, a lot of people will be happy, because I'm sure at least 40 front wings fly in the air from that hairpin incident. But yeah, it's going to be a question of who can get away. Well, again, will people change their strategies? Because, I mean, you saw how much Solar Cindy struggled off the line, dropped to, I think, 4th or 5th position, I think, before the hairpin, and then unluckily got the front wing damage. But then luckily, the F1 gods produced the restart for the Thai driver.
It's another Audi going too narrow at the hairpin and braking too late. Where have I seen that one before? I don't want to think about that. But it's a good thing to note. It's desperation on the early phases of the race in order to stop the top guys from trying to break their way through, or to try and put yourself out of harm's reach. Going for a dive like that on lap 1, it's rather like assembling flat pack furniture in the dark. It's not going to end well. There might well be an accident, and there was an accident. So it's just playing a patient game. There's 70 laps of this race. They've got so much time to work with.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, you compared it to Ryan. at least this one wasn't intentional.
Yes, there is that.
So I mean, yeah, we have. I mean, again, that was let's pretend that was the beta run, that race. We wanted to see what happened on the opening lap. That was Pirelli opening up tire test. We'll go with that for that particular go. But yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, 70 laps. It's an absolute age around Montreal. One of the circuits that dragged the longest in terms of race length. I mean, obviously you have the names of like Spa up there as well, which drag ages. But 70 laps, it feels like it takes forever.
It's like a lifetime, particularly if there's safety cars, which there are bound to be, although the safety car might just not exist in a second race. We don't know. Casper saying that was the one-lap sprint race. Well, congratulations, your winner is TM Swungu. Who even is that? I don't know, but they won. There you go.
I don't know, Jeff.
I don't know, Jeff, who is it? Unbelievable. Well, whilst we're here, whilst we're waiting for the grid to be set and then everything to go all over again, we'll have a quick canter over how this season's gone, basically, because we are the best part of 2/3 of the way through the season, almost now. And I think the big thing is Yuri has adapted to these new regulations very, very well indeed. He's the most winningest driver in Tier 1. His performance last week, when it wasn't the greatest of qualifyings, made his way up and left it till the very last lap, but still made it happen. It's an exemplary championship lead.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, it's just completely flying. Is the Dutch driver completely just in cruise control, isn't he? Of the championship, I think I said it's over 50 points. I want to say that leading the drivers. So, like I said earlier, I say probably it is Yuri's to lose, isn't it? It was a bit of a similar scenario to last season when Shelby had this humongous lead, and then going into Jeddah, all he had to do was finish, I think, what was it, like top 6 in the sprint, and Shelby was champion. Yuri gave it his all went from, I think, 19th to 2nd. And how heartbreaking is that? He went 19th to 2nd. Imagine you would be told that's not enough. That's such heartbreak for Yuri. He's taken it personally this season, though.
Really has, yeah. Like I say, 3 wins. There's every other win has been scattered amongst the grid, from Elias, from Mach 1 to Infinity to Sheehan, but otherwise every single accolade has flown the way of the Flying Dutchman. But equally, we look to some of those race winners. Sheehan broke the duck in terms of race wins. Of course, inevitably I wasn't there. But no, actually, I was there. He did it. He did break the curse while I was there. I remember, because he did it twice in a row. Top man. Singapore. He broke the duck, though. It's so many times it just hasn't worked for him, or he just hasn't managed the race, or purely his luck hasn't been good. But he finally broke the curse, and that must have given him so much confidence.
Oh yeah, without a shadow of doubt, the best thing in racing, when your confidence is low, you get that good result, you get the confidence back, and then it feels like you're in flow state again. When you get one good result, it feels like you've had good results in the last 10 weeks. I was just looking through all the race results from Tier 1. If you're including like sprints as well, in terms of the opening 7 rounds, we've had 6 different winners. So it's not impossible to beat the likes of Yuri, Sheehan, because we know Sheehan's got misfortune. No one's unbeatable here in TTYB. There's always going to be a chance to win. I mean, just like you saw Jensen Hookie, he is arguably someone who should have won this season, but I mean, Singapore was probably the crucial stone there, which would be a stab into the leg, wasn't it? Where's his disconnection? Is today? I really hope he can have a good race. Have some luck for once. The kind of Hookie in the, I completely forgot what car he is already.
It's a Haas car. I think he is anyway. Yeah, he's back in the Haas. I so hope he does as well. Touch wood. My desk is made of wood. You're in good stead, Jensen. We moved from Singapore, though, to Bahrain. Infinity got a race win. For me, that's not important. The important thing was, in that race, we have some, like, end-of-season awards that will be, cantering through, potentially, end of this season. One of which is takeout of the season, and that goes immediately to that right there, sniper's dream. That was pinpoint accuracy. I have never seen a takeout as good as that.
It was quite sensational to watch because they're in that. I mean, it was a perfect. He drifted into the takeout. It was prime WWE. Someone that the likes of The Rock would be absolutely proud of that. John Cena would be proud of that. His car should sign up to WWE, I think.
Oh, I agree. Pure SmackDown mentality from Sneck, who unfortunately isn't here this week and doesn't have to resort to SmackDown tactics, which is nice to see. We love to see it. The other 2 wins that have been spread out this season, we have Elias, and we also have, I'm going to hate myself because I've forgotten who it is. That's really bad. No. I do
Mackie
know
won it.
this. I do know this. It's Mac 1 because he won the first round at the USA. Feels like a lifetime ago that was, but again, it shows that vulnerability that none of the top dogs have it all their own way. There has been that variety, and particularly at a race like Canada, cracks can show very quickly.
Without that, not only in Canada, in a 100% race, you have double the distance you would normally do. It's game on, isn't it? For the whole Grand Prix, you can never say it's over because I mean, I think it was 2011, wasn't it? Vettel and Button. I think it wasn't the last lap. It was somewhere around those years when Vettel went a little bit wide, slid off, and Jensen said, "Thank you very much. I'll take that from you." It's never over till it's over. I think it was a Russell radio in Austria 24 when I think it was Dudley said to him, "It's not," or Russell said, "My mind's going blank. It's not over till it's over." It's true. It's like football. Don't go until the whistle blows.
No, exactly. No overdoing it on the whistle. We have got the notification that is good to go, and then we have the same thing again where we can't ready up on the grid. But I think the interesting thing with this is to see if anyone will twist or stick with their strategy. You imagine probably more people will want to go onto soft tyres because an early safety car's already happened once, can very easily happen again.
I mean, all it takes is a slight misjudgment. Misjudgment. There we go. Under braking. So I mean, we saw it perfectly there on the opening lap when cars just started being like a pinball in that hairpin. And as long as we don't get what Ryan did in the hairpin, we should be okay in terms of the cleanness here. I mean, until the hairpin, it was actually quite a decent start. All 22 cars were alive.
That is very correct. Hopefully it remains the same. Capit here saying, how did quali go? Well, I've got two answers to that. Firstly, there wasn't a quali. Secondly, not great. I'll be honest with you. Not ideal. But we have another race, which is good news. And we also have some generational Jamaican from Infinity Candy. If Jamaican was commenting, it would have been...
Infinity's disconnected.
Blunder on the brakes, man, and he's now disconnected. That's what you get for trying to impersonate Jamaican, because Jamaican be crazy. And that's why you never negotiate with a goose. Back to the race at hand. I've heard an oh my god. What is the oh my god for, Chris Kamara?
He can't put his setup on.
Oh no, he's done. Unless he gets in with, hopefully he can get in with the nick of time, but otherwise he is in trouble.
You can't take control till the race start.
Oh dear.
That's...
Oh dear.
So I don't think his car's going to turn.
Because he... Oh wait. Does that mean he just doesn't race at all? Hang on a second. There could just be 20... No, he's in. He's in. He is in. There is a small chance. However, a small chance is all there is. As Jensen says, Infinity bottle jobbed. You're not wrong. That is a pure internet skill issue, if I've ever seen one. Grid is same again, though. Still, strategies have stuck for the most part. We've got mediums, hards, and softs within the top three. Slightly different ordering, but otherwise relatively the same. The difference, though, in the middle of the order, which is rather surprising. Chow and Be is stuck with the soft tyres. Sheehan going on the hard tyres.
I mean, yeah, I thought Yuri was going to actually change. Yuri gone to the softs as well. But yeah, the hard tyre, it takes... Oh, there you go. Never mind. Sheehan's gone to the softs now. He was teasing us. I mean, if it is the hard tyres... Oh, actually, we're going to the race start already. Take it away.
Aren't. Well then, 5 red lights, Canadian Grand Prix. Lights out, away we go. I suspect it might be anarchy, but hopefully they all keep it nice and compliant. Run down to turn 1. Cindy's got an absolutely thunderous start and takes the lead of this race. Fortis has retired. Oh, haymaker from Sheehan, who's missed every single car on the planet. Now towards the next chicane. Has anyone got the message elsewhere? Hazard, if there's anyone that will get the message, is you. Oh, spin for Highwire. He's into the wall. It's the most disastrous race possible. Mackie, you're going to have to sledgehammer somebody, please. No, that's not what you're supposed to do. It's another restart because Infinity has bottle jobbed his internet connection.
Oh, damn.
And
well,
so we're back again.
I'm pretty fine. I love a football. So what was the point anymore, you know? Take 3, hopefully. Third, I forgot what the saying is already. Third try, it's something like that. But, yeah.
Oh no, I'm hearing other things as well. Diva, TM Swangu is actually called Diva. Well, it's not Slay Queen because they're going to be started from the back because they readied up early. And now I'm going to have to do another 3-hour lecture.
Well, no, dearie me. Well, take 2. No, not take 2. Take 3.
Infinity leads. That's good news. Look at this.
Oh
Infinity
my god.
Oh my god, that's a big crash. That's disgusting. I've never seen such an abominable spectacle in my life. Infinity wins, but at what cost? 'Cause that has been pure terrorism.
Well, could have gone better. Uh, Take 3 in Montreal.
Yes!
At this point, we should be 10 laps in, maybe. I mean, oh well. I think we've got to go in. I think we should just go into their VC and just shout them, "Don't ready up at all."
It might have to be done, honestly, to get the message fully across. That's the only way we're going to drill the point home. I've got raucous celebrations on my game screen as Infinity wins with a 1 minute 20.015, and everybody else out of this race or disqualified. It's disgraceful, really. Unbelievable.
Jensen on the podium.
Jensen, that's all. There you go, Jensen. Official result, you P2. Well done, Sunshine. Good job. And so we go to part 3 of this cheery Canadian spectacle. There's literally nothing to analyse from that race, so let's pretend it's race number 2 and go again. Strategy-wise, a lot of people did stick with their strategy in the end, which is not really a surprise. More soft tyres. I'd wager they're probably going to be even more soft tyres in this third rendezvous.
Yeah, about that. And I find it quite funny. I was just looking through those race results. Out of all the drivers in that race, Shelby stayed in 12th where he started in that chaos. So at least it's consistent for the reigning champion. Probably not in the way he wanted it. I mean, I'll tell you what's quite consistent. These restarts are quite consistent as well. Probably the most consistent thing we've seen all so far today.
Indeed, very consistent indeed. The other consistent thing is if it happens so nice, it might happen twice. An Audi sledgehammering someone at the hairpin corner again. It could happen.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I've just in the chat, the cottage pie, the English. Oh my god, the cottage pie is getting cold. Being sat in this lobby for so long. So again, I mean, I presume the same grid again. I mean, like it shouldn't take as long this time because I mean, but yeah, we lost 5 drivers from that. Just that split thing. I mean, yeah. Fred Aussie's engineer in General League Torture said no to the cottage pie getting cold.
Oh, what do you mean?
Someone says they love me.
Ah, so wholesome. So wholesome in the TTYB spec. Brilliant. As we're going to another restart. Again, for those of you that might have just tuned in, just to give you an idea of how it's gone so far, it is allegedly a 100% race. I say allegedly. That could be changed very quickly. Because race 1, there was a safety car bug. Someone was a little bit too late on their milk bottle tops into the hairpin. The second race, we then had Diva. Yes, Diva, readying up too early. And now they're being sent to the back of the grid, which I think is poetic justice because that is disgraceful. I can't do another 3-hour lecture. So now we're going to play the game again of predictions. Are we going to twist or stick our predictions? I'm going to stick with mine, but Rio, are you thinking of changing yours possibly?
Well, I was gonna stick, but I'm not gonna copy you. I'm gonna say. Oh, I should have changed. I'll say Lucas. Solo Cindy will get his win.
Oh, yes.
Now the pulse. He is the pulse now, isn't he? Because the McLaren's been demoted, and Lucas is always starting second. So Lucas is now your pole sitter. Hopefully we can get going again. We're still missing one person. Who is that one person? Oh, good question. I have no idea myself. It is an Alpine.
It's an Alpine. Oh, Nelly. I've forgotten who the Alpine is, so I can't. Oh, and there's Mackie. No, it's not Mackie because he's in Williams. Mac 1, maybe? No, it's Mac. I don't think Mac 1's racing. I'm confused. If anyone knows, please write to us. Wait, no, Ethan
Jacob.
Logan. It's not Ethan Logan?
Jacob.
It's Jacob.
Jacob.
Never mind. What car's Ethan Logan in then? Oh, he's in the Williams. That's why. I forget Williams exist. Sorry about that. Jakob's back. Get in the car, Sunshine. We need to go racing. What we all need to just... What I'm going to say right now, before I hand on to Rhea for some wonderful wisdom and insight, is don't ready up and don't dive bomb at the hairpin. Otherwise, we might cry.
And remember to brake.
Yes.
I think that is the more crucial part.
That's good wisdom. And then, I like
that. Sometimes our genius it's almost frightening.
Generates gravity here in the TTYB sphere. As we still have 70 laps on the counter, it's still going to happen. Cabot says, I need someone to dive bomb. Please no. Please no one dive bomb at the hairpin, because it's a long evening as it is doing a 100% race. It does not need to be longer. I don't want to deal with that. But there we go. Mackie is me. That's good. And Mac 1 is the Croatian sensation. Good to know. Mackie equals Williams. Mackie, by the way, just to be quite clear, to clear up a quote, I don't pretend that you don't exist. Just to be quite clear, I pretend that Williams don't exist because they're bad. That Williams are in the bin. I mean, literally, Aston Martin beat them on pure pace. What is going on at Williams? That's the big question.
It's just Fernando Sigma. I'm never saying that again. I mean,
Just been killed. I have died
could have
and
been
I
killed.
wish not to be alive again.
Well, Pat might come with some very stern words.
Ooh.
The first one being, next person to ready up, accidentally or not, you will not be allowed to race. The next restarted race will be at 50%. Don't be dirty, don't ready up, simple. Quite stern words.
I think that's not stern enough. I think if you ready up early, season ban. It's the only way to go about it. It's the only way people are going to learn. POV commentators lose their mind. Well, Freddie, look, listen. We've had 2 restarts. You too would probably lose your mind because there's only so much you can talk about when it comes to the Canadian Grand Prix, which is a great track, but what are you supposed to talk about? We could talk about real life, which, to be fair, like you say, Rio, if this emulates anything like it, 28 laps battle right at the top of the tree, we're in for a corker.
I mean, yeah, without a doubt. I mean, as long as we don't get a repeat of what the man who shall not be named did into said hairpin, it should be a very good Grand Prix.
Yes.
Will we get to the what's the safety car limit? 5, 6 safety cars?
5 safety cars.
Do VSCs count as well with it?
Yes, they do count.
Right, 6 VSCs and we're living life.
Yes, come on. Only virtual safety cars. No virtual burnt Mylander. We are not about that. What we are about, though, is racing. And so, it's time to throttle till we bottle for the 3 millionth time tonight at the Canadian Grand Prix 100% race. If any of you ready up, I will cube your head. It's going to be Diva not at the front of the field, of course, because they readied up early and they've learnt their lesson by being sent to the back of the grid. That means Katie does have someone to dive bomb her into the hairpin. Your pole sitter, then, is Solar Cindy. Clean side of the grid. Got a great start on that second false dawn of a Canadian Grand Prix. But it all comes down to that. Track position can be quite important because the track, not many opportunities to overtake. You keep that position, you can dictate proceedings from there.
Oh yeah, well, shut up with that. This is arguably it's one of the circuits where you can overtake, but like you mentioned, track position is also crucial. I mean, you can't really overtake in a lot of places. I mean, turn 1, if you want to risk dying, turn 3, Jensen's disconnected. Oh no, it's got bad to worse.
Sake, not again. I bet you he's pulled his router cable out. Never mind, he definitely hasn't pulled his cable out after that. Well. Katie saying, let's not talk about dive bombs at the hairpin cost me the win. I think dive bomb is probably a generous term for what that overtaking attempt was. And that overtaking attempt in particular was terrorism. That's the only way you can put it. Capit says, I'm tired, boss. We're tired as well. We could be having a 3rd restart here because Jensen's internet's had a skid issue.
I do have some news for you, though. I asked Pat, I sent a suggestion to Pat Mike, so if we restart again and this becomes a 50%, next week will be a 100% Grand Prix. So,
I like it.
where do we head to Monza next week?
I think it is,
VAR. Yeah, so if we have to restart again, our 100% race will be at the Temple of Speed at the Italian Grand Prix. Hopefully, we don't have to restart again. But then, if we have to do, we've been given another good track for the 100% race.
Exactly. So it's not all bad. We like a bit of a compromise in the TTYB sphere. We look to strategy again, though, and has anything changed from last time? Well, not if you're Child and be Sheehan or Yuri, who have now moved up a place, of course. Infinity on the hard compound tyres, that is very much a roles reversed. Softs galore, though, for those 3. Again, similar strategy, cut through the order, pray for a safety car.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, the soft tyres, I think we spoke that earlier, the soft tyres are probably the best tyre to be on for race starts 100% races because you always expect safety cars, unless it's like an esports race where you don't really, they're like basically sniffing each other's gearbox half the time, going through corners. You always expect crashes in leagues like this. Not to say that the leagues are dirty. Obviously, it's a phenomenal place to be in a part of this, and there's always phenomenal Grand Prix action. But you always have that slight misjudgment in league racing. It happens to every single driver. Good news is, now that the McLaren's been demoted, Katie's already made a position.
Yes! That's all that matters. Go on, Katie. Race win is cooking. We're getting words to say invite Jensen. Unfortunately, I can't do that
I have.
because I don't have him. And Rio has, so there you go. You can all calm yourselves. He's going to be back. And all will be okay. Mostly. He doesn't have a setup, but it will be okay, probably.
He's gone offline again.
He's gone up. Never mind. It's probably not going to happen. Softs and mediums. Positioned game before we start. Excellent. Apparently, Cindy's now gone. What do you mean Cindy's now gone? He's gone on soft tyres. That's the only gone there is. So what is going on? Canada is not being our friend.
I think there's two simple letters to describe this. EA.
Yes.
I think it's probably the best way to say this one.
Electronic Arabia. Classic. Classic Electronic Arabia activities. We still wait patiently on the grid. There's going to be a debate here. Capit says Katie's winning tonight. Gaining position so quick we couldn't even see it. Absolutely. Robbing competitors blind is the lean green machine, and it's working very well indeed. Jensen, there's phrases I can't say, but let's put it this way. He's distraught. But will we go ahead with this race start? That is the overarching question. Well, it's 5 red lights for the Canadian Grand Prix. Red Bull right, Ferrari left. Now we are away for the Canadian Grand Prix. Is it going to finally be the sensational spectacle we've all been waiting for? Because Cindy leads into turn 1. Osman has to hold for P2, Hazard in P3. Jensen's going to feel the sinking feeling early doors. He's being swallowed up by the pack. Infinity up a place. So is Sheehan. In fact, Sheehan takes the place from the Ferrari. Great start from the RB. So they make their way through. Jakob's already into a spin, and already it's a VSC. Alpine into the wall, and that's big, big damage early doors.
Yeah, spun around the rear. Jacobs now left the session and has actually retired on the track as well. So Jacobs' day is done. The rest of the field, though, did make it through clean. A 10-second penalty for air in the other Alpine. So Alpine having quite the treacherous start here in Montreal. Jensen Hookie, a 10-second penalty for ignoring yellow flag. So that must have been overtaking Sheehan. I must presume under yellow flag. Luckily, it's only a virtual safety car, so we don't have to experience the safety car pit bug yet as of at the minute. But Lucas has held his lead, and I think maybe starting on pole position has made him change. We go green flag running Adendo, and the Red Bull has got the jump 1 second already. We head down towards the final chicane. Highwire gaining on the rear of Herbie, but I don't think it'll be close enough.
Yeah, relieves Osman of overtake mode. Brilliant restart from Solar Cindy, who takes the lead and will keep the lead all the way through into lap number 2 of this race. Osman second, Hazard keeping close company in P3. Nola and Herbie having a good little scrap to turn 1. Herbie goes through into P4. Neat little move there. Infinity Candy goes through on Jensen Hookie, who is not reeling in any big fish because he is completely disconnected from proceedings. Even his AI gave him a 10-second time penalty. Sheehan outside of a second of the cars ahead, but no doubt they will fight. Chowdenby closing in on the stricken Haas car, down the inside, academic move, through to the top 10 already. Fortis looking to go through. Yuri's not had a good race start at all. He's down in 15th place. What has happened to the championship leader has not found the flow at all.
Yeah, lost 2 places on the, I believe, the opening lap. They got run to the hairpin again. It seems to be side by side between the McLaren and Tanigran and Mackie in towards the braking zone. We will run no missiles, beg, as we go through the hairpin, inside for the Williams, outside for the McLaren. Foot to the floor on the exit of the corner. Mile wheel hooking as we make the run down towards the famous final chicane where the Wall of Champions will await. Yuri Aarons, the championship leader, getting close as well. 3 cars separated by a 10th and a half here on the run down to the chicane. Tanigran looking for the move on the Haas as well. Jensen losing another 2 positions. Tanigran and Yuri will both get through. And at the front of the field, there's Lucas who leads, and that gap has been chopped down to now 0.4 of a second.
Yeah, Osman's woken up, needed a lap to get back into range, now firmly nestled into range. Lovely little helicopter shot that just visualises the gap decreasing and decreasing. Yellow flag though for a brief moment in sector 1, and that is Diva with a moment. Big slide from Hazard into the left-hander. That's going to invite Herbie into a potential podium place scrap as we ride on board with the Ferrari driver under the bridge. little lift to save a little bit of battery. Has got about the same kind of battery in the tank as Sheehan goes through on Nola. RB swapping places, and Nola might be able to work with Sheehan here. Infinity nestled up behind, underneath the diffuser. In fact, pulls out of the slipstream, boosting down towards the hairpin. Careful! Nola, not to just sledgehammer your teammate. Sends Infinity wide as well. He'll be pretty aggrieved with that one.
Yeah, as we go side by side with Candy Floss and Noel on the run down towards the final chicane. Neither wanted to give up further ahead. Ethan Logan gets past Highwire, but to the final chicane, we will run. Noel trying to do his teammate a solid here. Under break and we go. Candy Floss will sail all the way around the outside with a phenomenal move. But this will invite the Red Bull and the Racing Bull to come back at him. Towards turn 1 we will go. The Ferrari being pounds as we go. Through turn 1 we go. Infinity holds that position. Noel continuing to duel with the Rebel. We go on the exit of turn number 2 on the run down to turn number 3 and towards the end of the first sector we go. It's Lucas who still holds the lead from Osman.
Bravery beyond the call of duty from the Ferrari. Infinity Candy 8, who is P8. Jensen Hookie out of this session. Joins, had conundrums at the chicane, but that is the end of that. Internet gremlins, setup gremlins, in fact everything in between has put pay to what should have been a phenomenal run for the Haas driver. Up at the front, gap 2 seconds between Osman and Hazza, and knows he's being bottlenecked. Knows he's got the pace to get on down the road. Only lap number 4 of this race as Herbie goes brazen down the inside. Didn't work during the first run here in Montreal, but onto the casino straight they go. Bet it all on red, and it's bet out very nicely. Podium place, and Osman gunning for the lead here.
He's now got to try and set after Osman and Solar Cindy, who are starting to slowly streak away here. That gap, 1.7 seconds as Highwire gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits on lap 4. That is so early to get one. The championship, the reigning champion, going side by side through the exit of the chicane towards turn 1. The championship, the world champion does get through. Hazard as well, doing battle with Ethan Logan. Exit of turn number 2 on the rundown. Towards turn number 3, the Williams will have the outside line. Towards turn number 3 to try and dance and sail and fly all the way around the outside. What a move from the Williams. You don't see many moves there. Sailing on the outside line to get into the top 4.
Osman chomping at the bit for the race lead. He's got Solar Cindy on the ropes. It's going to be a sledgehammer knockdown to the canvas, potentially. Not in this case. Again, saves at the chicane. Would be lucky there not to have got a track limits for that. And Herbie, because these two are battling so incredibly hard, is going to make himself well known in the battle for the lead of this race. They've got to sort themselves out, though. Already Sheehan up to P7. Candy Floss has got a time penalty. In fact, there's 5 time penalties already. It's going to get quite bad. Nola goes through on Fortis at the hairpin, as Yuri also tries to make their way through. Got past Sheldonby, who's had a bit of a moment on this lap. The championship leader takes the place, and it's going to run in the slipstream. The battery to burn to boldly make his way through. Nay, cut out by Nola, who was very aggressive in defense. Fortis is just allowed a red carpet on through. Highwire goes through on Hazard through turn number 1. Another penalty rains down. It's all happening here at the Canadian Grand Prix. Chowderby now takes the place back from Yuri, as Nola has lost a second to Fortis, and now these two have to do battle again.
Yeah, the two rivals for the titles from last season. The Sheen gets past Hazard in towards turn number 5. Don't see many moves there on the inside. Must have been brave on the brakes, but at the front of the field, Osman just seemed to struggle to recharge his battery, along with Herbie. They're both pushing to keep up with the Red Bull of Solar Cindy. On lap number 6, the yellow flags behind, because I believe someone might have gone round, might have been a half spin, maybe for Noel or someone like, because Noel's actually dropped down to P16 now, has the Racing Bulls driver. Tanijang running side by side as off the road goes to Cadillac, and Max has gone off the circuit and lost down 4 positions here in Montreal. Through goes the Audi of Serber's face to get through into 11th at the lead for the lead of the Grand Prix. Though Osman getting close again, not close enough on this occasion. Mackie and Tanijang still giving it argy-bargy on the exit of the hairpin, as Herbie multiple more penalties being given out there. Mackie and Tanijang maybe preparing to do battle on the rundown towards the final chicane. Tanijang will be gaming all the while, but here comes Sheldonby. Sheldonby's dropped down more positions here, Carl.
I suspect contact between himself and Nola, hence why they both plummeted down the pecking order at a similar speed. Sheehan's up to P5 while all of this is happening, and just to give you an idea of what the penalty situation is looking like, we have a 6, and then a smattering of 3s up and down the grid. 2 10-second penalties, but that's safety car shenanigans that you don't want to face. Osman again is trying every single avenue to try and cut his way past Solar Cindy. It's still A diligent defence being thrown up by the Red Bull, a tenth of the way through this Grand Prix. The Ferrari driver remains frustrated. Herbie within range. Ethan Logan now within range, and Sheehan's going to get onto the scene very quickly.
Yeah, Sheehan's done extremely well to carve his way through the field, as so his face gets a time penalty for track limits. Again, so many penalties already being handed out. I believe half the grid's actually already got track limits, so we headed on the run down towards the chicane once again. Osman's just got to play patient here, focus a lap or two, get that battery up to at least 60-70% as they go through the final chicane. Further behind, Infinity Candy Foss and Hazard 12th around as the Bahrain Grand Prix race winner is now back up into the top 7 from, I believe, 11th on the grid as Mackie and Service Face run wheel to wheel. Mackie in the Williams does get through as well, but Osman just needs to focus this battery recharge. Lucas in the Red Bull, who's leading the way, doing an extremely good job of just keeping that battery in a solid amount, so if he needs to defend, he has plenty for the straight.
Yeah, frustrating Ferrari driver really well. He's got nothing in the tank whatsoever towards the left-hander into turn number 5 and then turn number 6. Decent little move has been made there earlier. Osman tried to move a couple of laps ago, didn't work out. Cindy has got all the answers to the queries thrown by the Ferrari, who knows they've got the pace, so it's just psychological frustration. Sheehan now couples it on to make it a 5-car train. Herbie's boosting though towards the hairpin corner. Space left by the Ferrari, not the most aggressive defense. Herbie can't make it happen though, has got loads more battery in the tank though, and it could leave Osman a sinking ship against the almighty might of Audi. Down the inside, it's easy. Academic from the Audi driver. Herbie up into P2, and the aggression from the Ferrari has cost him dearly here.
Yeah, without a shadow of that, it's exactly what it was all about. Just need to focus on saving that battery as we see Ethan Logan getting close to the rear as well. We go through turn 1. The 4-car scrap for the lead becomes a 5-car scrap for the lead. And surely the likes of Sheldon and Yuri, they'll make their way to the scene eventually, because now we see Osman trying to mount more pressure on Herbie as they go through turns 3 and turns 4. Turns 3, yeah, turns 3 and 4. Who are behind yellow flags because someone has had maybe a half spin. Maybe it's actually the McLaren of Swung who has retired in the pit lane. So our third retiree of the Canadian Grand Prix to make the run down now down towards turn 8 and turn number 9, where Osman just needs to focus on that battery. He's done quite well. He's got to within similar levels now of Herbie and Solar Cindy, but someone who's looking really good, Sheehan and Ethan Logan, they were on the exit of the chicane. They were both above 60%.
Almost at 100% in the case of the man that sits 5th place. The closest to challenging, Yuri for the championship. The Welsh Wonder versus the Flying Dutchman. Championship leader currently in P9. There's a good opportunity to pick the pocket of points for Sheehan. It's not going to happen at the moment. Again, patient game, long way to go. Not even a 7th of the way through. Not even at lap 10. Soon will be though. Lap 10 of this race. Solar Cindy leads but has nothing in the tank. Herbie has a bit more in the tank but has to settle for P2. Osman 3rd, Ethan in 4th. Sheehan rounds out the top 5. Katie in battles, big damage. There's a massive bit of contact. Katie without a front wing. We have a full safety car out of absolutely nowhere.
From debris flying absolutely everywhere. So, in terms of drivers on the soft tyres, perfect time to pit now. Lap 10 of 70. Let's hope we don't get this pit lane bug again. I'm just looking. Excuse me. The top 10 all on the soft tyres. Maybe that top 11. So the top 11 all on the soft compound of tyres. In terms of others on soft, no. Yeah, so it's the top 11. The only drivers on the softs. The drivers like Service Face, Service Face. The only one who is on the hard tyres they started on. Those tyres won't probably warn that much, but would you rather, Carl, if you was in this situation, would you rather box and maybe then use 2 sets of mediums to the soft, or would you rather brave it out for the track position?
I think it's tricky to call it, to be honest with you. If it was me personally, I'd probably pit regardless. Get some new tyres on, because I know it's hard compound tyres and they'll have the durability. Unless you've gone for harder allocation, in which case, just saying, you played a blinder. But if you haven't, I'd probably still pit anyway, because 9 laps worth of a difference against everybody else on newer tyres, you're going to be sinking like a brick comparatively to the rest of the pit lane. Is about to get very, very busy, I suspect, for everyone. Not if you're Sheehan, though, who is going for track position. Now, that is very surprising. Everybody else is going to peel into pit road, get new tyres on the wagon, no pit lane glitch, no teleportation tricks. Cindy gets a new set of hards, Herbie with a set of tyres, Mackie puts a car between Sheehan and the rest of the field, so with Face also could. It's a race to the safety car line, which Cindy and Herbie know.
Oh.
Herbie goes on the grass, almost does a Yuki Tsunoda. And, well, Osman's going to have to give up the place because Herbie did rejoin the track. That nearly got very grisly, though.
Yeah, like you mentioned, almost doing a Yuki Tsunoda. The bad news for Katie, she lost the front wing, she's lost positions. The good news is she's got a front wing. The Penguins will be delighted with that result. Safe to say that the Katie's now got the front wing on her car, so she can challenge again as Tanjran and Noel both come into the pit lane to box again to get to get back onto that hard tire. Sorry, I thought they pitted already for a set of hard tires. Anyway, Sheehan leads. Questionable strategy call to stay on the soft tires, but what I do like, James as well, who's down in 10th, has stayed out. I would expect him to maybe peel into the pit lane end of this lap, maybe just didn't want to double stack. Nonetheless, though, Sheehan leads from Mackie in the Williams. I believe the opening winner of the year, Mackie, going for the track position, is now one away from where he finished in Texas, unless I'm getting it completely wrong. I might be completely wrong.
Sheehan leads, Mackie P2, Solar Cindy in P3 on the newer tyres. As everyone tries to suspect what happened with Katie. Well, she's got a front wing. She hasn't got a nose box, which is a rather interesting alternative aerodynamic package that Aston Martin are trying out. Couldn't go much worse for them, although if you watch Hungary, it's not really that bad, which is fair enough. Lap 11 of this race, we have our first full safety car. We've already had a VSC, now a full safety car. That's 2 down. So basically, we have 3 more, and that is strikeout completely, which is good news, because then it's full flow all the way to the end. I will say, though, surely if you haven't pit, you've made a bit of a blunder. Everybody else has pit. They've got so much fresher tyres, can run long into this race. So I'm not entirely sure what they're trying to call on here.
Neither do I. I mean, I understand it from Soa's Face's perspective. He wants to get the most out of that hard tire. But if you're like Sheehan on the soft, staying out, I get track position is crucial, but I mean, maybe in Montreal, the tyre temperature can be the crucial factor to pulling away. People like Solar Cindy and Herbie might struggle to fire that hard compound tyre up. Maybe that's why Soa's Face has opted to stay out, because you do naturally get up to speed quicker with temperature-wise with a more scrubbed set of tyres. But I'm just really struggling to think why Sheehan has stayed out here.
Well, Benji says potential tyre offset, which is possible. It's possible to have the tyre offset, of course, in 100%. Not the most knowledge in terms of how the tyres are wearing out and what kind of abrasion they're going through. But even so, if I had 11-lap-old soft tyres, I'd for sure peel into the pit lane, because I get swallowed up by the pack, unless he thinks track position will allow him to keep that place. We have no idea. It's all going to be very interesting. What is also interesting is a bunch of the heavy hitters, Yuri and Chowdenby, sort of struggling in this early stage, but that's the byproduct of being in the mid-pack. That traffic has caused all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, that shut of a doubt. It will be interesting to see with this shuffled order in a sense, with all the pit stops and that. Shaolin B basically back to square one as well in 14th, same as Yuri in P11. Yuri's actually made up a couple of positions, so he's in a better position in comparison to Shaolin B. I'm quite surprised Shaolin B hasn't found it as easy to make his way through the field. I know we have got a competitive grid here, that there is no doubt. But normally you see Shaolin B just slicing his way through the field. But maybe this is the reset he needs. Just regather himself a little bit after the couple of incidents he was involved in that opening 10 laps of the Canadian Grand Prix. Over a 7th of the way through as well now. It's going to be easy. It's going to be not easy. It's going to be interesting, to see how the likes of Shaun B and how the likes of Yuri can fare up, and how the likes of Sheehan and Mackie and Service Face can hold up on those old tyres. And James.
So who's in the best kind of position at this stage? Surely Osman's got a great chance. Hasn't got a penalty yet. Proved to have some great pace in that first phase of the race as the safety cars in this lap. It's about keeping your nose clean in track limits just as much as it is in terms of getting the tyres through and putting the pace down. Osman doing a great job so far. Of course, a podium on debut last week. He's got to hope others don't make their way through, but he's having a great run at it so far.
Yeah, exactly. Osman has been arguably the best man I've seen debut in this series. In his first 2 races, he's been fighting for 2 race victories, and like you mentioned, he's the highest new tyre runner of not only the mediums but of the drivers without track limit penalties so far. When will Sheehan pull the pin though? Probably, I expect, out of the final corner, through the left foot to the floor. Let's go racing again in Montreal.
Indeed, did pull the trigger out of the final chicane. Battery up to medium. Now he can boost. Away we go. Racing returns to TTYB Canada. Sheehan leads. but for how long? How can Cindy, Herbie, Osman carve their way through the field? Can they carve their way through the field? Well, Osman on the medium tyres has got a great shout of doing so, can't make the move on Herbie. The mediums will run out of performance quite quickly in comparison, so he's got to make the moves count. Towards the front, Sheehan looking to escape, but the rear end will start complaining very, very quickly. Anyone making an impression? No, everyone's supremely compliant at the moment. Osman has a great exit, though. Out of turn number 7, down the inside. Easy as you like. A move of pure academia from the Ferrari. Debut podium could turn into a rapturous race win.
Yeah, the Ferrari man is further ahead. We see Soa's face and Lucas running side by side. The Red Bull will try to favour the outside lines. We put the foot to the floor on the rundown now towards the final chicane. The Audi now is less than 50%. Lucas has just run below 60% as we make our way towards that chicane. The Red Bull gaining all the while, gaining in that slipstream on this occasion will not be close enough. Further behind, Yuri Aaron's trying to make the move as well as the Cadillac of Fortis on Infinity Candy Floss. Round towards turn 1 we will run once again. Sheehan and Mackie though, they seem to be holding quite well. Along with Soa's face actually, they seem to be holding up quite well. Yellow flags because Max has retired in the pit lane, but for 4th position here, Sola, Cindy and Osman running wheel to wheel. The outside line for the Red Bull, the inside for the Ferrari. And the Ferrari, will he be able to pounce on the inside of turn 3 for the outside of turn 4? Lucas squeezing on through and getting that position back again.
My God, I thought there was going to be an absolute plane crash. So lucky not to, as Highwire just lets Herbie know he's there. Little biff of the diffuser. Can't do that too much. It's an HR complaint. But nonetheless, good stuff. These lot battling, though, to actually let the top 3 escape. All on the older tyres, let's not forget. Sheehan, Mackie and Sir with face as Yuri goes through, but it's big problems for Hazard. Jonathan Legard style, he's completely facing Reverso. Flick spin the car around. Do not dip your toes into the realms of disqualification. Big burnout on the rear, can regain it, however, it's a lot of work to do from there. Sir with face got through on Mackie at the hairpin. That's been a happy hunting ground for the Audi driver, and it's even more happy hunting because now Sheehan is the next piece of prey to gobble up. Yuri goes through on James from Birmingham. So does Fortis. Up for the top 10. Infinity's made their way to P9 in all of this. It's all been swap around, but the one thing we haven't seen is the new tyre runners carve their way through.
Exactly, the top 3 still holding up well. Obviously, so Cindy and Osman, they have caught up back to the rear as Shalini and James running side by side. So the 3 and the reigning champion will get through. So is facing a lovely dive bomb on the inside, I believe, at the hairpin past the Williams, and now he's in arguably the best position to take the lead of the race on the circuit. Sheehan's pace, though, on these, what you must say, dying soft compound tyres, doing really, really well right now in the racing balls, leading by 3.5 tenths of a second, but those hard tyres, surely, Cole, must be the favourite tyre now in terms of the old tyre runners.
Absolutely. No, they really are. So with face putting them to great use in the Audi car. Again, the top 3, completely different tyre compounds, softs at the front, hards in 2nd place, mediums in 3rd, and then you have the slew of hungry hammerhead sharks behind. First of which being Solar Cindy, although Osman again trying to close in, trying to make something happen. Yellow flag, Nola with a problem at the exit of the hairpin for a brief moment. Can't see any damage. It might well have been James actually who ducked and dived out of the way. Tell you what, Katie's recovered quite well as well. It's got Tanidran ahead, Keyboard Warrior versus an Aston with no nose box. Either way, it's a battle for the ages. Sheehan still leads. Look at the hungry Caterpillar from P1 down to P12 now.
Yeah, the train all packing up now as a mix of the old and the new tyre runners. The top 3 leading it, slowing all of the pack up. Service face though seems to be the most fretful in terms of challenging for the lead of the Grand Prix. If you're Solar Cindy and Osman, you really have to start getting a move on and make these new tyres work. Because as the Cindy go on the tyres age, it will then come down to just pure driver skill in terms of who will have the most pace. We run through turn 8 and turn 9 before we go to the hairpin. At turn number 10, Katie making the move on Tanidran. The Aston Martin does get through, like you say, with no nose box, get past the McLaren into 13th place for the lead of the Grand Prix. Now getting closer to Osman and Logan, run side by side. Osman able to hold that position on the inside of the hairpin, but now we make the sprint and the dash towards the final chicane where Logan and Herbie and Osman all get close to comfort as we run to the final chicane. We will go. They will all say line of third. They will all say well ahead as we go on the braking and about to begin lap 18 of 70.
Awareness has got to be at an all-time high. They're running so close to each other, so nose to tail, but it can all go so wrong so quickly. Expect the front wing to go flying before too long. if they just misjudge it. It's millimetric margins they're using to calculate where to save the battery, where to make the moves, where to hold and be patient. There's nothing separating anyone as Infinity goes through for P7 on the road and moving to turn number 3. Great opportunism. Again, Herbie dropping a place, who I thought would have been very strong, but those hards have not worked out for him at the moment.
Yeah, but kind of Infinity went around the outside of turn number 3 with a bolder, braver stallion move from the Scarlet Ferrari driver. As Mackie got close to the rear service face and then might have mucked up the chicane a little bit on the run to the hairpin once again. It is still a 12-car train, and then further behind you have Katie and the likes of Tanijan. Through the hairpin we will go. Osman and Solar Cindy again run side by side. A little bit argy-bargy as Lucas gets shuffled out wide on the run down now towards the final chicane. Osman's got the move, but in terms of the battery, who will want to give this one up? In terms of deployment towards the chicane, we will run. Will Solar Cindy be close enough? Looking for the outside line, running wheel to wheel, sailing around the outside line, sliding away goes the Red Bull. Minor contact. Through goes Logan. Through goes Infinity. Lucas down to 7th.
It was optimistic, thought he was going to wait, had plenty more battery. Immediately he dives on Infinity, and it's a brazen and desperate move from the Red Bull driver. You can see damage on the right-hand side of the front wing. I thought he would have played it a bit more patient. He got onto the grass and broke as late as he possibly could. As soon as you go on the grass, though, it does not give you the inheritance of grip. Osman down the inside of Mackie, who does leave the space. But we've seen Osman do this before. Switch back out of the second part of the chicane. Has got no battery to fight with, though. And Ethan is going to be snapping at his heels. Nothing doing, though. Ferrari goes through. Williams in close company. The Ferrari and a Williams sandwich, in fact. It's Noah's Ark in that sense. Ferrari, Williams, make that Williams, Ferrari. Ethan goes through with a boost at the hairpin corner to take not just P4, but P3 as well. Brilliant double dose of overtaking from the Jamaican sensation.
Yeah, a lovely move at the hairpin as Osman now getting towards closer to the chicane, further behind on high wire, and so the Cindy changed around and the pulses have shuffled down into 9th. What I am loving here is the old tire riders are running closely together, running so competitively. Even Logan looking on the outside line, really good defensive shape thrown from the Audi, but Logan trying to set up the old switcheroos as they apply the power on the exit of the corner on the rundown now towards turn 3. Will Logan go brave to the inside? On this occasion, no Solar Cindy as well. Continuing on to fight with high wide, the outside line again for the Red Bull, the inside for turn 4, almost contact as they run so close to the wall. Lucas runs off and Lucas has got front wing damage.
Front wing damage, and so his teammate goes through to P11. Chardamy kept relatively quiet in all of this. Now there's a bit of disconnection though. High wire, 1.5 seconds behind, means Yuri can get up the road. Round he goes with a bit of battery blitzing. That's all he needs, and Chardamy down the inside at the chicane as well. Two championship protagonists taking places in the space of the same corner. Excellent stuff. And up at the front, again, Sheehan, by the way. Credit where credit is due. He could be swallowed up very quickly as Infinity looks to get the better of his Ferrari teammate. Sheehan has held the lead ever since this safety car restart on those soft compound tyres. I don't know how he's keeping them alive, but his defence, his knowledge, his acclimatisation of track position has paid off very well indeed. But for how much longer? We have a new race leader. Sir with face, Sir with hard tyres, Sir with the race lead.
Yeah, lovely move at turn number 1 by the Audi, taking the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix. Ethan Logan will be up next. Half the tyres, half the amount of laps done, sorry, compared to Sheehan's soft compound tyres. Nonetheless, his pace on those softs has been exquisite as we make our way now down into towards turn number 5 on this occasion. Well, not at turn number 6, sorry, in this occasion, not close enough as we make our way on the exit of turn 7 on the rundown towards turn 8. Logan basically hurrying Sheehan through the corners as Sheehan shows a slight defensive offer before cutting back to that racing line. We head through turns 8 and turn number 9 before we put the foot down towards the hairpin. Will we see a brave dive by Logan looking for that inside line? Will he go through on this occasion? Not close enough as then we look and to rotate it through the hairpin. Minor contact between front wing and diffuser, and then apply the power on the rundown towards turn 13 and turn 14. Logan gaining all the while, gaining in the slipstream, getting closer as we edge on down the straight, looking for the outside line, but Sheehan slowly coming back across, and the Racing Bulls will be able to hold on to that position. But now Sheehan will be able to have this dose of the overtake, but goes wide on the exit, and Ethan Logan will probably say as easy as you like to get this move done, and through the Williams goes. The Bahrain sprint race winner gets through as Candy Floss ran wheel to wheel with Mackie, trying the up and under as they apply the power. And then, speaking of Bahrain winners, the Bahrain sprint winner prevailed, and now the Bahrain Grand Prix winner prevailed as well.
No.
Both Bahrain winners making moves as, what's happened?
So with facing the wall, spins it out of the turn 3 and 4 chicane after all the hard work to get to the front of the field. It's been thrown away in an instant. Goodness gracious me, plummeting down the places. That means more places inherited. Chowdenby's found his feet. He's up to P8. Yuri's now in 7th place. Ethan Logan leads the Canadian Grand Prix. How does Sheehan have any tyre life left in those tyres as Herbie now goes down the inside? He's woken up. His tyres and his, well, mojo has been reinvigorated. Back now into P5, trying to relieve Mackie of P4, is going to do so. Infinity closing in on 2nd place on the road. That'll be a big battle between Infinity and the Ferrari and the Williams out in front. Herbie does get through on Mackie. Osman remains in P6, could be caught here by the championship leader. More penalties raining in, so in face no real surprise, has to peel into the pit lane. And that means Katie from 21st is up to 12th now.
Yeah, doing a phenomenal job is the Aston Martin driver. Someone else is doing a fantastic job as well. Both the rival for the title from last season, Yuri and Shaulenby as well. Now up into 7th and 8th position. Osman gets close to the rear once again as Air Nick in the Alpine retires from the race, becoming our 5th retiree on lap 23 here. Almost around a third of the way through this Grand Prix. The gap at the front though, Ethan Logan's got a 1.3 second lead. Those soft tyres undoubtedly fading away on that Racing Bulls. The lap ticks off as each lap ticks by. The Racing Bulls will surely be continuing on to think about a pit stop. As we go in, the hairpin Elsman looking on the inside of Mackie. Those old medium tyres are holding up, but for how much longer? Applying the power. Through goes the Ferrari into 5th position, but can Mackie come back at him on the run down to the chicane? The championship leader as well. As for 2nd position, Infinity gets through. Back to this fight for 6th and 7th. Shaulenby and Yuri getting close to the rear of Mackie, but on this occasion we'll have to just settle in behind again.
Yuri's got the boost though. The psychological advantage belongs to the Haas driver. Through they go, and Shaudenby also, with excellent opportunism, throws the car down the inside, but no. Mackie says, absolutely not, sunshine. You have to work harder than that. Infinity using the pace now of those medium tyres. In fact, exactly the same age medium tyres as Ethan Logan. Bahrain sprint winner versus Bahrain Grand Prix winner on the same number of penalties, on the same piece of bitumen. It's going to be a barnstorming battle as Herbie trying to get P3 on the road now. Sheehan very much the rolling roadblock in this battle. Chowderby now will get through. No, he won't, because Mackie goes wide on the run through the chicane. Surely will relieve the place. No, he won't, because that's not what we're about. Herbie boosts into the hairpin, finally goes through. Sheehan costing everyone behind now loads of time.
Yeah, those old tyres are now beginning to fade away. So Sheehan maybe trying to hold out for another safety car here. Maybe expected another safety car, but how compact the field has been. The Racing Bulls coming back at the Audi now. And the Welsh Wonder makes a wonderful move. But no, actually, now peels into the pit lane, gets it stopped in time. And that is, safe to say, Carl, an exquisite stint from the Racing Bulls.
They've done exceptionally. The defence thrown up. Gold star. IMAX standard. In fact, roll it. Cinematic spectacle from Sheehan. Race winner in race gone by at the Singapore Grand Prix, looking for another street race spectacle here in Canada. Did everything they possibly could. Now has new hard compound tyres. Everyone's done a decent amount of running on their tyres. And so, what kind of pace can Sheehan put down up at the front? Ethan getting the gap to just outside of a second ahead of Infinity. These two at the moment in a class of their own. Herbie very much now the cork in the bottle for Yuri, who's up now into P4. Another penalty for the Audi driver. 9 seconds now worth of penalties. Bit of boost from the championship leader. Can't make it happen, but the pressure is paying off. Big lockup from the Audi driver. Tyres complaining. Championship leader gaining. Now with the boost and the straight line mode. A sumptuous amount of slipstream to gobble on up. Down the inside. No resistance put up. A podium place for Yuri, who will now get after the top two.
Yeah, championship leader now come alive in the halfway point of this current stint race. 15 laps done now on that hard compound tire. Now has got his eyes on Infinity, Candy Floss, and Ethan Logan, and now technically the championship leader is your net race leader because of the penalty situation. So for the Flying Dutchman, definitely flying up the order. The reigning champion in sixth position will want to follow closely behind as well. The top six now all on new tyres. Well, in terms of when they pit on that safety car. Mackie, the only driver apart from James, in terms of the drivers who are competing for the win, Mackie is still yet to pit in this Grand Prix. Shall be getting closer to the rear of Osman. Osman is someone who we expected to be making his way through quite swiftly, but he's not really moved anywhere, has he?
No, just the battery management let the Ferrari man down. Podium dweller last time out. Was a brilliant race, make no mistake about that. Brilliantly executed at the latter stages as well, but the battery management has been what's let them down. So that's all part of the learning game, though. Again, has no battery whatsoever. He's had to use it to extract the most of the pace from the Ferrari. He's going to gobble him up. Easy. Left, right, and good night from the Red Bull. The reigning champion moves on up another place. Now as Herbie very much in his crosshairs. The top two breaking away 2.5 seconds now. The gap Infinity just trying to get a little bit faster. Fortis goes through on high wire, and that's very much invited Cindy and Katie, who's provisionally P8 once all penalties are applied. They make that P7 because of Herbie's 9 seconds worth of penalties. I don't know what the Aston Martin driver is cooking. Said she very much loves the Canadian Grand Prix, and that adoration is bearing much fruit.
But show that Katie is absolutely cooking here in Montreal. Sheehan and Noel swap positions as well. So Sheehan, the only driver, and disregarding service base as well, Sheehan is the only driver who has pitted after the safety car and is now trying to carve his way back through the field. But if you look at the mini-map on the bottom right-hand side, look how much he has to make up. I think if I have a look to the gap between himself and the race leader, it is 19.6 seconds, and it's not the longest lap here. You have so much to do. For the context of the lead of the Grand Prix, Infinity, the two Bahrain winners will go side by side, and Candy Floss will now take the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Gets a time penalty though in the proceedings as Logan will come back at him. The two Bahrain jewelers go wheel to wheel in towards turn one. The outside line for the Ferrari, minor contact as the Williams go sliding through the apex of one. Outside for turn two for the Williams. By the power, Williams first scooter with Ferrari, and Infinity Candy Floss takes the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix.
Another set of penalties though, and almost again a carbon copy of being switched back at the final chicane. Doesn't happen or transpire in that particular manner, of course, but Infinity needs to be a little bit careful on those track limits. 6 seconds now worth of penalties. Ethan, significantly less. Yuri, infinitely less. 0 time penalties for him to worry about, and he's now broken away of Herbie. Oh no! Sheehan with the disconnect had literally just got past Hazard, who bullies Sheehan's AI out of the way to retake P13. It's happened again. Goes for the brazen strategy, and he is not rewarded at all well.
Yeah, Sheehan, it's like a similar situation with Jensen, just absolutely no luck in the context for the lead though. Back comes Ethan Logan. We had a change on this exact corner last lap. Ethan Logan in the Williams will ease back on through it. Shallenby now gets back past Herbie, and Shallenby up into fourth. We're having changes left, right, and centre here as Yuri actually got Yuri up into third now. Herbie's been passed by the pair of them. Has run down towards turn number one. Yuri as well now hunting back to try and get within the 1 second window. Shallenby though following his last season compatriot rival through as well.
Lap 29 out of 70, very rapidly approaching the halfway mark. Mackie has peeled into the pit lane to go onto the hard compound of tyres. Where does he emerge in all of this? The answer is, it looks like, because of Sheehan's AI, who has just pit again. Interesting strategy. Hard to wait on for that long, mate. But pit again, it means Sheehan now plummets down to the back of the pecking order as there's a chorus of comedy laughs in the Twitch chat. Yuri, though, no laughing matter out in front. He's caught up to the top two. Their battling has paid a heavy price.
Yeah, Yuri is absolutely flown on this lap of Grand Prix action here. Got now to within the 1 second window, and now it is properly game on for the Grand Prix victory. The two season 4 championship protagonists. Oh, we're season 3. I've actually kind of forgot what season we're in, to be honest.
Ethan with the lead of the race for the time being, but again, cream of the crop rises to the top, and you've only got the most lucrative of drivers that are chomping at the bit for the race win. As it stands, they're 1 and 2. Penalties applied. Absolutely excellent stuff. Look at the penalty situation. We have drivers with 12 seconds worth of penalties. Herbie and Highwire, and they're going to drop a whole host of places. If anything, if you keep your nose clean, there could be a grand result heading your way. Katie can get a top 5 in this race, for God's sake. It's going incredibly well for the lean green machine. Tanidran also could inherit some places, but when do the rest of these guys now pull the trigger next? They haven't been on their tyres for too long. Softs and mediums galore for a lot of these drivers, but they are going to have to box again, and that could put some drivers in a great position, as Katie trying to go through side by side with Highwire at the end of sector number 2 in towards the hairpin. Has to concede and save the battery though at Terrorism Corner for the green machine. Highwire goes wide again, overcooks the brakes, and that will put Katie in a very advantageous position.
Yeah, now on the run down towards the final chicane for the lead of the Grand Prix, getting on so close as well, but Katie gaining on the rear of the Mercedes towards the chicane, will pull to the inside line, will look for the move, but on this occasion not close enough. In terms of the fight for the lead, Candice Loss getting close, but not close enough. As we head through turn 1 and turn number 2, Katie, no, with the 3-second time penalty for track limits. So, the position she was going to gain, she's now got to hope that the others do get time penalties as well. As look how close it is for the lead of the Grand Prix. The top 4 split by under a second.
Lap 31 then, Katie up to P9. I presume she didn't make the move purely because Highwire's now out. I know they had 13 seconds worth, or 12 seconds worth of penalties. I don't really know why, because there's plenty of opportunities that could have cropped up. Alas, that will be opportunities no more. Ethan, Infinity, and Yuri snaking in 1, 2, and 3. Chowderby just losing touch a little bit with this battle for the lead, however, probably playing it patient. That is the usual way for the reigning champion. Yuri getting perilously close to chomping his nose off on the diffuser of Infinity. Again, big HR complaint. Another big battle, though. Osman, again, who we had championed to do some incredible things. Fortis within a second. Where has the pace of the Ferrari driver gone here? As, oh goodness gracious me, what is happening? Infinity again at the final chicane. That's what. And this time, no switchback at the chicane, because he's been cunning. He's been wise. Through the Ferrari driver goes to retake the lead. But all that's done is brought Chowderby back into the thick of it.
Yeah, nonetheless, though, such superb racing in that chicane. It's so hard to get 2 cars through it, and Infinity said, thank you very much, up and under, I will sail it on back through. In the meanwhile of all this, Sheehan's come into pit lane again for an old set of hard tyres. Sheehan picked up front wing damage, so it's gone from bad to worse for the Welsh wonder. This race is definitely not going wonderful for him here in Montreal.
Where did it all go wrong? Honestly, well, we know where it all went wrong. The internet, that's where it went wrong. As he's down in, well, the very, very tail end, the wooden spoon of positions at the Canadian Grand Prix, where it should have been if he dug just a little further. If you know the image, if you dig just a little further through the dirt, you get all the diamonds. The diamonds didn't show it Sheehan's way. He is still carrying on, though, which is great to see, as Brummy James exits the pit lane on his hard compound tyres, and hopefully going to have better form than the Brummy team he is so named after. Through they snake, Ferrari, Williams, Haas and Red Bull onto what will be lap number 33. Max Verstappen-esque as Infinity crosses the line to hold the race lead. Chowdenby again just outside of range of attacking again. Playing it patient because he's hoping Yuri can do all the carving for him on his hard compound tyres.
Yes, exactly. Yuri will be the one that will be more eager to get through compared to Chowderby. This Grand Prix, it seems like he's been following Yuri through. Every time Yuri makes a move, Chowderby follows him through as well. It's quite fun. It's quite interesting because everyone's spread apart from this top 4 and the battle for 6th and 7th here. We make a run down towards turn 8 and turn 9. The top 4 again split by under 7/10 of a second on this occasion. It rises a bit as we go on the exit of the corner, but now on the run down towards the hairpin we go. Logan getting close again. Logan thinking for the outside move and apply the power on the exit of the corner. Can he make the move to the chicane?
Let's find out. Power down. Tyres bite into the bitumen. Straight line mode. Battery to burn. Hasn't got enough though. Already into saving mode. Yuri can close himself in, licking his lips at a possible opportunity for some delicacy. And that delicacy would be P2 on the road. No no delicacy is shown his way though. Chowdenby doesn't take the opportunity after the compromise of run through the chicane. Ethan Logan gets close, shows the nose to the inside, and a big mid-corner slide for the race leader. Infinity still holds it, but his tyres are very, very much complaining out there. Nearly halfway through this race now, another penalty reigns in. Oh my goodness me. 19 seconds worth of penalties now for Mackie, which if you add up all of the numbers together, by the end of this race, we're going to have done more than the race distance in terms of seconds worth of penalties. That's all I'm saying. Fortis again, though, battle for 6th place is hotting up. Fortis closing in the Cadillac, possessed perhaps by the spirit of Brian Evans.
Yeah, exactly. So Fortis doing well to fight with Osman. Osman's just not had the pace on this after the safety car restart here, as Yuri Aaron's getting close again to the hairpin. Lock up from the championship leader, running a little bit deeper. Is that maybe strategical to try and set up the exit on the exit of the hairpin? Herbie as well, maybe starting to slowly reel these guys back in as well. The Audi man will be up next to try and catch up to these guys. It could be a 5-car train as soon as Yuri looks for the move further behind. Server's face makes the move, but goes very, very deep on the braking in the hairpin. Tanidram will come back through, but the McLaren will be low on that energy deployment. But then on the rundown towards turn number 1, we go with the race leaders again. Not close enough. Tanidram running wheel to wheel again with the Audi as Mackie gets past Hazard in the towards and before the chicane.
Yes, indeed. Good stuff there between Sir with Face and Tanidran. The outskirts of the top 10, we are now past the fulcrum point of this race here at the Canadian Grand Prix. Infinity and Ethan both on 6 seconds worth of penalties, and Yuri is turning up the wick, and as he should, because he's on hard compound tyres, as is Chowdenby. Both the drivers ahead on mediums. I imagine would probably want to stop soon, because then they know they can run to the end of the race. But then you play with the other dilemma, and that is the safety car. You do not want to be caught out. Track position has proved very important for dictating the balance of battle. Through the hairpin they go for the 35th time. Literally in French called l'épingle, which in English means hairpin. The Canadians have a really creative name. But towards the chicane we go. Down the casino straight. In the slipstream is the Williams. Firmly more in the slipstream is the Haas driver. Can't again make his way through. All a patient game though, because it will all come back to them in the last stint. They'll be on the mediums potentially, and these two in front have to stick for the hards.
Yeah, the hard tyre seems to be the... I say it seems to. It is the quite favourable race tyre here in Montreal. 25 laps done. I wouldn't be surprised if this hard tyre could really make it to the end of the Grand Prix, because of how durable it is here in Montreal. But I mean, in terms of pure race pace, you'd probably want to go for that second stop. But you'd expect the likes of Yuri and Chowdenby maybe to go longer, unless they've got another set of that hard compound tyre. Maybe they cut on these two to then get 1-2. But now this is the chance the championship leader has been wanting on the rundown. Towards turn number 7 is he close enough on the break. We go side by side, maybe just dance around the outside line, but okay, not close enough. Apply the power on the exit of turn number 9 on the rundown now towards turn number 10. The inside line will favour the championship leader if he can get it stopped at the braking. Sides the nose on the inside line, and the American dream could be fulfilled in Montreal. Foot to the floor, down the casino straight, and towards the final chicane we will run. Yuri and Logan not wanting to give up, but maybe the battery will be in favour of Yuri as we make our way towards the final chicane. No, the championship leader will bail out of it.
Yeah, Ethan remains in P2 and is giving Chaser his own now towards Infinity. Saving the battery, had half a sniff down the inside, and look how much more confidence Yuri has on the brakes as Osman and Fortis now finally side by side. Can Fortis relieve the Ferrari of P6 on the road? Osman with the narrower line should favour him. Line of least resistance and distance. Now they remain side by side through turn 3 and turn 4. Fortis goes through. Brilliant battling. Outstanding overtake from the Cadillac driver, who bided his time so well. And it's basically a carbon copy of what Yuri and Chowdenby are doing. Weather the storm, your tyres will come back to you, get the confidence, through you go. Towards the heaven we go for the 37th time.
Yeah, the issue that Fortis might have might be the issue that on Osman's had the whole time, just a lack now of battery. In terms of the context for the lead of the Grand Prix, Mackie makes the move on Tanidram further behind, but if we make our way on the run, down the casino straight again on that 37, now over half race distance in this Canadian Grand Prix. The lead of the Grand Prix could be under threat though on this chicane. Not on this occasion though. Chowdenby, Yuri, Logan and Infinity. That's your top 4 in reverse order on the rundown now towards turn 1, where once again, they will all have to stay line astern. Further behind, Osman has peeled into the pit lane, maybe trying to undercut Fortis, and now maybe trying to think of a strategy to get back into the lead of the fight, because, Carl, that medium tyre just has not worked for the Scarlet Ferrari man.
Exactly, had to try something different, and like you say, equally, the hard tyre is the tyre to go on. And now with less than half the race distance to go, everything's sort of calmed down a little bit here. All of that chaos and contact from earlier has been brought to a simmer. And now the Ferrari can up the ante, bring the pot to a boil in terms of pace. That will be what Osman can do, equally in an advantageous position because 0 penalties next to his name, in terms of time penalties at least. Don't know how many strikes for track limits Osman has got so far in this race. But if he keeps it that way, it's going to be only big things later on. Towards the hairpin we go. Front 4, nose to tail once again. Still no real urgency to get up to the front of the field. Still a long way to go. You've still got basically a 35% race ahead of you. Nearly a 50% race between yourself and the end of the Grand Prix. Ethan Logan gets close. Big shape thrown, and Chowdenby plays the strategic game. Pulls the pit lane trigger. First of the front 4 to blink.
Yeah, exactly. Sheldon B, just before he's come to the pit lane, into the hairpin, he smacked the rears for the lead of the Grand Prix. 3 wide! Oh my goodness me! Through goes the Flying Dutchman of Yuri Aarons. Logan went wide, Candy Floss went wide. The Flying Dutchman sails on through into the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix. I missed what happened there. I caught to the end of it as Yuri, from 3rd, now leads the Grand Prix.
Excellent, excellent move from Yuri, and probably pivotal in the context of his race. Chowdenby with an undercut opportunity. Yuri could not be bottlenecked behind the 2 medium runners if he is to respond. And the undercut has worked for Osman. Did get a time penalty picked up at the end of that lap, but has now got back ahead of Fortis. Gap nearly a second between the Ferrari and the Cadillac. Chowdenby will keep an eye on his pace as well. A bit wide into the hairpin from Yuri. A little bit of a lazy mid-corner slide from the Haas as the tyres begin to complain, but will he respond immediately to Chowdenby? Has gained a couple of attempts to Mackie up ahead, trying to see what his sector splits are going to be looking like. Yuri does not peel into the pit lane, remains out, possibly because he didn't go for the harder allocation. Only a suspicion, but Chowdenby has played a strategic blinder potentially, because he did go for the harder allocation, and now he's got a second set of the optimal tyre to use.
Well, shut up that. It's worked perfectly for him. He's going to get that undercut, no doubt. He got clean air perfectly. Something I found interesting, though. You see Mackie there up in P8 here in Montreal. That is kind of really where you see Sheehan around, maybe. But actually, no, maybe above the Audi, actually, of Sir's face. So you expect if Sheehan didn't have this misfortune, how far clear he would be of the reigning champion. Probably, actually, maybe ahead of Solar Cindy as well by the time these guys had come into the pit lane. But Yuri, on that hard tyre, rightly so, is flying now. All he needed was that clean air and set sail. The Flying Dutchman's on his way to try and triumph again in TTYB, this time in Montreal.
He's rapid 200ths up on his personal best, even with the older hard compound tyres. That's how much he had left in the tank in terms of pace. Is it now going to be potentially him burning the battery as much as he can to peel into the pit lane? Chowdenby's gained about 7/10 on Mackie on this lap as Osman goes through on Hazard inside at the hairpin. Yuri doesn't pit. You can sure as hell bet Infinity and Ethan Logan are pitting. Off the medium tyres, they've just been gapped by the hard tyre runner, championship leader, race leader, and now they come to respond. Infinity's actually had to change his front wing, so a bit of damage for the Ferrari driver as well, and that's going to plummet him even further down proceedings. Hopefully not too much in the context of his race. Clearly has some good pace, but he's going to be behind his teammate Fortis and Hazard. Even more places to make up. Ethan Logan, with a comfortable amount of clean air in P8, has lost 3 whole seconds in terms of the undercut to Chowdenby, who's now right in the thick of it for P5.
That Mackie makes the move on Katie. And Katie on those 31 lap old hard compound tyres with a stellar job here. Chowdenby, the reigning champion, now on the rear of this duo as well. Now be a trio as they make their way through turns 8 and turn number 9. That noseless Aston Martin still showing some very good aerodynamics as we make our way on the run down towards the chicane. Will we see a brave dive from the reigning champion this occasion? No. But that undercut has worked superbly for Chowdenby. 3 seconds he's got on Logan.
And that means as well, Fury should pit, which he hasn't, still carries on. If Yuri were to pit at the end of this lap, Chowdenby easily would have got him, so now has got to wait it long. Potentially is going for the medium tyres at the end. That's the other consideration that Yuri's going to have to do, as we are now 6/10 of the way through this Grand Prix, and this is what the order looks like. Yuri leads, Herbie in second, Cindy in third, Sir with Face in fourth place, with Mackie in fifth. Chowdenby, very much on a big undercut, is in P6 and putting down the pace very well indeed. Katie has to probably make another stop, I would suspect, in P7 currently. Great race so far for the Aston driver. Ethan Logan in 8th, Osman in 9th, Fortis rounds out the top 10. Infinity already picked the place off Hazard and is closing in on these two ahead. Tanidran versus Nola meanwhile. A barnstorming battle, side by side. Blockbuster entertainment, a Universal production that sees Tanidran ahead come turn number 3. Great battling from the keyboard warrior.
Yeah, good move from Talydran, getting past the Racing Bulls. Racing Bulls seemed very for some very good points here at the early stages, but it's all gone sunny side down for the Fienza outfit, and they make the run down towards the final chicane once again. Serber's Face, we can't count him out as well. Remember, he was one of the drivers who stayed out under that safety car. He's the leader of the drivers who did that alternate strategy, staying out under that first safety car, then pitting for their own strategy. Will he have to pit again? Yes, but he's doing something different here. He's got a 1.8 second advantage over Shalnaby, who, so to say, is your net race leader. Ethan Logan, though, is going to be taking that undercut personally with a new fastest lap as he gets past the Aston Martin, who surely soon will have to come into the pit lane. Something I did want to discuss, though, Yuri, he's done 32 laps on those hard compound tyres. Run on board with him, though. They don't look that bad. Is the question in there to go to the end here?
It's bold and it's brave. At the moment, it looks possible. Hard tyres looking very nice indeed. He's treating them very well. Of course, the patience rewarded of staying behind Infinity and Ethan during that previous stint. Only half a second down on his previous best. What a stint from the Flying Dutchman. Absolutely excellent. Race winner at the Japanese Grand Prix last time out. Going to do the dynamic double before too long. It's looking ever more likely. Sir with Face, though, closing in on Cindy. 32 lap old hards and front wing damage. That only exacerbates the issues. Yellow flag. What's happened here? Sheehan's gone round. Sheehan's gone round. It's a front wing off and it's a full course safety car. And Yuri, I don't know what deal with the devil he's made, but he better pay him back because that is unbelievable luck.
Yeah, so, well, Yuri and Herbie will both now get some free pit stops here. So, what I can presume, surely, is the medium compound tyre for Yuri. Unsure what it will be for Herbie. In terms of the penalty situation, once Mackie has served his 10-second, the highest penalty driver will be 15 seconds, and it is the Audi in P2. If he's not careful, he might get disqualified soon.
Yeah, and can't clear it either, because track limits penalties in the F1 game, you can't do anything about. No idea why you can't just clear them in the pit lane, but that's the EA way. Lap 43 of this race, of course, safety car hasn't caught the race leader, as what did get past it in time, which is good news for Yuri. It was very close to being picked up by the safety car, and now we'll get a cheap pit stop as a result with no repercussions, which is good news for them. Bad news if you're Chowdenby and went for a hopeful undercut, which would have worked had it not been for Sheehan causing some extraterrestrial interference. Into the pits doesn't come the RB because they're fearing being lapped, which is absolutely fair. Is going to pick up a position ahead of Brummy James. Yuri should peel into the pits, and I've no doubt will peel into the pits right now.
Question is, though, with the reduced time loss of the safety car, will Shalnaby be able to come out ahead of him, or will he maybe peel in for a new set of tyres here? Maybe go on to the mediums, or will he continue on to the hard tyres? The hard tyres are the tyres to be able to take a shadow of a doubt. Yuri, as suspected, goes on to that medium compound tyre. We run down the main straight with Shalnaby, rerun to the pit exit with Yuri. This is going to be oh so close to the pit exit here. As they get up to speed, the championship leader against the reigning champion. It's actually not that close. Shalnaby leads the Canadian Grand Prix, but there is a 6-lap offset between Shalnaby and Yuri, and the crucial part is Yuri's done no racing laps. Shalnaby's done 6 full racing push laps on that tyre. And something I found quite funny, when that safety car came out, but mind you don't expect him to stop at turn 3. He kind of got a bit bored. He's done half a lap.
Fair, I don't blame him. You gotta survey the scenery. He's already stopped by turn 3. Thinks I need to look at the St. Lawrence River. Got a great look for at least a minute and a half, and now Chowdenby's caught up to the back, and now he's got oh really, do I have to drive around the rest of this track? Yes, Burn. You do. Chowdenby leads Yuri in P2, 6 lap worth of offset. Might not be the worst thing in the world because the Hards will gain their supremacy back quite quickly, which could play nicely into Christopher's hands. Then you've got Ethan Logan in P3, but the main thing to highlight is that you have the two standouts at the front of the field. Chowdenby and Yuri have again been a class above, haven't got time penalties, now reside 1 and 2, and deservedly so, and have shown that it isn't about making a move at every single corner. It was a game of management, it was a game of patience, and a patience game that they've played to perfection here.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, it's going to be interesting now. If you're Chowdenby, do you fight for your life here in Montreal to try and get the best possible result? Because those mediums are going to fire up so quickly here. They're gonna, when we go racing, they're probably gonna have like probably maximum 3% on that medium tire. Those hard tires probably around 10% already, 10 maybe like 13-14% as well. But nonetheless, the reigning champion from the championship leader, the top two in the World Drivers' Championship from last season, now 1-2 at the head of the field. Even Logan there is still is in contention along with Herbie, but I mean, can we really say Herbie? He's got maybe 15 seconds of penalties, but he can fight for spirit.
Can fight for spirit, indeed. And I absolutely recommend that you do, Herbie. You might be in the skip with the amount of time that you've got. You might end up actually in the US Grand Prix once those penalties are applied, but we'll ignore that. It's absolutely fine. Sits P4 ahead of both Ferraris. Osman ahead of Infinity. Look at the amount of penalties we've got as well. We said track limits penalties were going to be a big element tonight. We didn't realise how big of an element they were going to be.
Oh yeah, like a shadow of a doubt. It was always going to be expected, the track limits, but I mean, and like you rightly just mentioned, we did not this many penalties. I think actually if we add it all up, do we have more than laps completed?
Oh, good question. Well, let me do some maths and also waffle in the process. If you take all of these numbers, you add them all together, you end up with a total of 72. And that means
My word.
we are above the lap count in terms of seconds of penalties. Unbelievable achievement. Probably not something to flex.
I've just checked a couple of drivers, but if you add up, I believe, if you add up Herbie's, Logan's, Osmond's, Infinity, Fortis, and Lucas, you have got more than the current amount of laps we've done in this Grand Prix, I believe. Maybe add on the Audi and Ninths as well, but yeah.
It's a shambles. Absolute shambles. And I'll pretend I never heard that. Chowdenby then has control. He finally leads a race this season and properly leads a race this season. So many times he started right at the back of the pecking order. Made life difficult purely for himself, yet always ends up getting so close to the big time. Now he's got a great chance of stealing the spotlight. Reverse Grid hasn't put him as far down the order as possible, but even after all the conundrums at the beginning of the race, he still finds a way. He's still at the top of the order. And yes, it's a tall order now to keep Yuri behind, but you've got to say, it's an impressive drive once again.
Like that, he always provides spectacular races here in TTYB, whether if he's doing qualifying or if he's not doing qualifying, or if he's put to the back of the grid. This is just like a casual day in the office for Shannon Steve. And take nothing away from it. It's a stallion, spectacular effort from the reigning champion. And for people that are driving, if you wonder why he is the champion or is the reigning champion, you like to think this is a prime example of it.
Absolutely right. Safety car will stay out for another lap because Sheehan is about 600 kilometres away from the field. Good news for him though, has only got 3 seconds of penalties and will now be back in this race. This is why you never give up, because soon a safety car could be sprung up, then you can catch up to the order, you can have the opportunity, you know you've got the pace, and suddenly, dare I say and be bold about this, potential podium on the cards maybe?
It's always a chance for Sheehan. I mean, he always provides some Welsh wonders here in Montreal. I mean, it's just not in Montreal in general. In general, with TTYB, he always provides excellence. No matter where he is in the field, he will always fight back. I mean, he had that spin, didn't he, in the Japanese Grand Prix? Lost his front wing, fought his way back to fight with the front ones again. He is the prime definition in TTYB of this season, at least. Never give up. If you want a prime example of never give up, like you mentioned at the start of the broadcast, the Austrian Grand Prix. Yuri was, I believe, 5 seconds away at the end of lap 2 from the whole pack of the field. Well, they went on to win that Grand Prix in spectacular style for the Scarlet outfit.
Stranger things have happened. Many fairy tales forged. It's going to take something spectacular to go from 16th to 1st with how close the racing has been. But safety car in at the end of this lap. And now it's up to Chowdenby to control the running order. To put the pace down, Sheehan will catch up to the back of this train, which is good news for the Fury from Faenza. The Red Bull team, though, everyone weaving synchronization to get some warmth, some energy invigorated into the tyres. We wait to see when Chowdenby will pull the pit lane trigger. The two monsters of TTYB will now clash, and properly clash. 2 warnings for Yuri as well. He's not out of the woods in terms of track limits penalties. It could entirely be possible. What will the roads to recovery look like? We're about to find out. Fortis gets to 3 seconds. We haven't even started racing yet. What are we doing? Chowdenby leads in towards turn number 1. Yuri won't make it happen. Ethan trying to pick his pocket round the outside already through turn number 1. That almost got very, very interesting. No dice. Yuri has second place on the lock and key. Herbie tries to make his way through. What can Sheehan do in terms of his progress? Keep a close eye on him. Back in the thick of battle. And now we see what he's truly made of. Infinity goes through on his teammate. Ferrari side by side. Momentum favours Infinity. That slide certainly does not. Osman back through briefly, is going to concede the place. Yes, he does concede the place. Infinity up to 5th. Osman down to 6th. Herbie now with 18 seconds worth of penalties. How has that happened? Like, we literally have done about 4 corners. Sheehan close, but not quite yet. Gaps won't disperse too quickly. Mackey's going to try and go through at the hairpin up ahead. That could open it up potentially for Sheehan, and yes, it does. Place gained already. Bit of a battery war down the straight, but patience is going to be a virtue. There's a long way to go.
The 2 Scarlet Ferraris are doing battle as well, flowing behind Solar's face, and Solar Cindy running wheel to wheel into the final chicane. Sheehan, does he finally get that move? Past the Mercedes, side by side they run, and the Welsh driver will get through! But minor contact between the Mercedes and the Racing Bulls of Mercedes. Tried to hang it on the inside at turn 14, but nothing doing there. Sheehan Poo, 1 down, 14 to go in terms of getting P1 on the track. It will be quite a stallion effort if he is to make that up. But Chowdenby has had quite a good pace so far on this first lap back of green flag action in the Canadian Grand Prix. On that hard command tire, you'd expect to be harder to fire up. Ethan Logan, though, Carl, it seems firing up on this start.
Very fired up. Equally firing warning shots in the steward's room. 9 seconds worth of penalties now for the Williams as we are on lap number 50 of this race. It's gone scarily quite quickly, all things considered, considering we've had 2 separate restarts. This is our 3rd attempt at this Grand Prix. So with Face gets through on Fortis. Cindy's going to pick the pocket as well. Katie waiting in the background again with the alternative aerodynamic package. Cindy down the inside. Katie keeping a watchful eye on proceedings. Great little battle for P7. Yuri closing in on Chowdenby. Very close indeed. But super clipping starts, he has to save the battery. Herbie, same again, has to save the battery. Soda Cindy versus Fortis, side by side, into the chicane. Ego at stake, pride on the table. Cindy goes through, and he's still only got half a front wing. Katie could even pick the place of Fortis, who's just waved the white flag. Battery to be saved, but late on the brakes at the last. They're going to run side by side through turns 1 and 2. Who will it favour? You'd think the momentum on the outside line would do all the heavy lifting, and it does. Great move and opportunism from Katie there.
Yeah, phenomenal move from the Aston Martin driver, showing why she loves this circuit. And I was just trying to work some out here. I don't know if my math was wrong, but actually, before we get to that, Yuri might be able to try to make this move towards turn number 8 and turn number 9. He's getting close again to the rear of the reigning champion, but on this occasion, not close enough. As further behind, Hazard and Fortis to change around the Aston Martins, both making up positions here as we run to the hairpin. Yuri looking for the inside line. We could be 2 by 2 here on the braking. We go on the braking though, side by side, momentarily behind for the podium positions. Ethan Logan, the inside line will favour him as they apply the power. Now on the rundown towards the final chicane, and the Williams and the Audi, neither will want to give an inch as we make our way towards 13 and 14 here. Ethan Logan, they will also line us in the top 4, split by under half a second as we head towards turn number 1. Once again, round number 3 in terms of racing action. We have got a Sheehan gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Yuri thinking of it on the inside line, but Shanley chopping that up. Oh my word, a sailing all the way around the outside. Surely not the outside for 1, the inside for 2, before we make our way to the inside of turn 3 in terms of the Williams aspect. Can he get through? Yes, he can. Ethan Logan throws a spanner in the works in terms of Yuri's bid for glory, and he's also picked up a 3-second penalty in the process.
Spanner in the works, sweet sensation of maneuverability. Ethan Logan, that was brilliant, my friend. Absolutely brilliant. And Yuri with a 3 seconds, that's completely changed the complexion of the race. Yuri now weaving all over the back of the diffuser of Ethan, possibly quite aggrieved in terms of what happened. I'm not entirely sure. It looked like he just got boxed in. Ethan took the opportunity, grabbed it with both hands. Chowderby with a big lockup again into the hairpin corner. Yuri, though, just dives it down the inside. So much more grip at the disposal of the Haas driver. Back into P2, can once again give chase, but Ethan is not an easy customer to overtake, and Yuri's road to victory just got a little bit more tricky.
Yeah, exactly. Just putting the pressure on.
Ooh,
Yuri
wide.
gets that through into... Oh, what's happened?
Wide at the chicane, Yuri's just gone wide, sorry. I just went so late on the brakes. Ethan's going to get him back here. Yuri losing complete composure, had it all signed, sealed and delivered at the hairpin. Infinity now goes through round the outside of Herbie potentially, but no, is just absolutely bullied by one Audi. The other Audi gets him, and now we have a virtual safety car out of absolutely nowhere, and out of nowhere is actually because James has no front wing. That's our safety car limit done and dusted.
Oh, well, it's good to know that we'll now get green flag running to the end of the Grand Prix. I was just looking through the race director. Something I'm so impressed about, Sheldon B has only had 1 warning for track limits in Montreal.
What?
That's so impressive.
Wow. Chowderby, colour me impressed. Colour the whole of commentary corner impressed. That is quite something. Do you know what? Track limits, a bit of a tricky mistress. Back to green flag running. Ethan Logan with a more advantageous restart. Not going to make the move into the hairpin because, as we've seen before, if you dive down the hairpin, you touch metal, you get burned, and then suddenly it all goes very wrong indeed. Which is incidentally how I once lost a barbecue.
Oh.
Now, lap 53, it's all happening at the hairpin. No, because it's all happening at the chicane private. Nola's gone round. Flick spins it. Is actually the only other driver not to have a time penalty next to their name.
Oh, Herbie's
Chowderby,
off.
meanwhile, gets a time penalty. Herbie off at the chicane. Has to ship a whole host of positions. Now it's only one driver that doesn't have a time penalty. And Chowderby doesn't even have the lead anymore. Ethan Logan takes it. The Jamaican sensation. Jamaica be crazy, man. He's through to the lead in the Williams car. Nola now the only driver without a time penalty.
It's all happened in the blink of an eye. A virtual safety or restart providing the action here, but now Sir's Face and Osmond now back in contention for the win of the Grand Prix. Sir's Face, as I mentioned, now gets past Infinity Candy Flop on the rundown now towards the chicane. The Audi is now back with his 2 main rivals for the Grand Prix victory here in Montreal, and we're about to approach the 16 laps to go stage here in Canada. We've done 54. We've only got 16 left once we cross that start-finish line.
This is quite something. With the penalties as well, there's all sorts of calculations you've got to try and make. One of which is Ethan Logan is not going to win this race as things stand. 9 seconds worth of penalties. Puts him down, definitely below Osman. Down below maybe even Katie if he doesn't calculate it quite right, because the gaps are so incredibly close. Yuri again shows the nose to the inside. Osman's going to lose another place here to Herbie, who nearly gets Cindy as well, who with half a front wing, credit where credit is due, Cindy's having a cracking run at things. Now has no battery to fight with, though. So through goes Herbie. Osman soon to follow down the inside. Does have a full complement of front wing. So does Cindy with one arm tied behind his back. Is holding down some good points here.
Yeah, exactly. Without a shadow of a doubt, absolute race rate. Sheldon, he got 2 warnings in a lap. So the man who took him 53 laps to get 1 has just got 2 within the matter of a single lap here. So I'm curious to see where he went off there. Must have been minuscule here. As Ethan Logan, however, on that hard compound tyre, starting to stretch his advantage ahead of Sheldon, who is also on that hard compound tyre here in Montreal. Yuri has got the youngest tyres of the top 5 here. Herbie as well. Someone in terms of who will probably fall out of the top 10 was their penalty situation. And here we go side by side through the hairpin. The Audi of Sir Wiz Face. We're just speaking about their teammate. Apply the power on the exit of the corner. That gap for the lead, 6 tenths per second before they fall after the penalties are applied. Yellow flags are behind because Nulla has spun the car again on the rundown to the chicane. They will all stay well behaved on this occasion. Minus Stern once again 15 to go when we cross that line.
And no more safety cars, of course. We've used the whole allowance in terms of the safety car balance. 5 has already gone. Lap 56 of the Canadian Grand Prix. Ethan Leeds used all of his battery on the last lap. So with Face again nibbling at the heels of Yuri. Switchbacks it out of turn number 2. Again, momentum is fantastic if you get the switchback right. So with Face can't quite extract the perfect execution. Now, down towards the right left-hander. In fact, so with Face is going for it on the championship leader. Through goes the Audi up to P3 out of nowhere and has even biffed the diffuser of Chowdenby for good measure. There is a lot of pace in that Audi car. Has to do the work all over again though, because he got it all crossed up out of turn number 7.
Yeah, the battery as well is getting all crossed up. We've got 0% now as we make the run towards the chicane, to the hairpin, I apologise. We make our way through turn number, through the hairpin we go in and apply the power on the exit of the corner here. He might be now vulnerable to Infinity Candy Floss as we make the run towards the final chicane. Ethan Logan is showing pace. I didn't know he had in here. As further behind Herbie and Solar Cindy, like you mentioned, Solar Cindy with half a front wing, really putting the moves on here in Montreal as we go. Under braking, they will not be close enough to make any moves. Katie making moves, and with Sheen as well. Yellow flags behind because James and Noel have either coming together on the exit of turn number 4 for the terms in the fight for second and for third. So the net lead of the Grand Prix, Chowdenby, Yuri and Sir with Face all split by under half a second, over half a second as they apply the power on the exit of the corner. So that gap was less than 4/10 of a second between the net 1, 2, 3.
So just over 13 tours to go of the Canadian Grand Prix. If you're wondering how Sheehan's progress has gone, he's in P9 now. He's going pretty damn well. Nola, I think, just waiting. I see he's slowing down. I think he's just waiting for James. So he has a friend to fight with, which is very commendable, I will be honest. However, I suspect James might have less of a front wing than Nola, and that he does. No end plate on the right-hand side. That's suboptimal. Now, back to the action. Top 5 now. Infinity Candy Floss has joined the party on that one. Then you have a bit of a gap to Herbie in P6. Then you've got Cindy, Osmond, Sheehan. Again, Cindy down the inside. Carbon copy of the previous lap from the Red Bull. Has a little bit easier of a time, or at least you would think so. Herbie says, not today, sunshine. More battery in the tank. Electricity in the reservoir. Sound barrier broken. Who cares? James and Nola having a sensational scrap for 15th place. Soft compound tyres, a friend to fight with, and they're putting on a great show for the Wooden Spoon. Infinity, though, has risen from his ruins. Fastest lap of the race. Yes, he's got a million years worth of penalties. Sheehan's up to P7 out of nowhere. Double overtake for the Welshman, who suddenly is staring down the barrel of some great points.
An absolute exquisite manoeuvre from the Welsh wonder of Sheehan as Katie gets another 3-second time penalty. Made that 9 seconds now in a grand total for the Aston Martin driver. At the start, they will gain a couple of positions, but then also lose a couple of positions here. But we have got a 5-car train in the closing stages of the lead of this Grand Prix. There will be no interventions, like you rightfully mentioned. The safety car limit has been breached. We've gone over the amount. Here comes Sir with Face again, diving through on the inside of the championship leader. Side by side they will run on the exit. Apply the power, foot to the floor, pedal to the metal, whatever you want to call it, on the accelerator, on the run down now towards the final chicane. The battery again will be depleted for the Audi, but will it stop him from making that move into the chicane? Short and sweet answer, yes.
There we go. Audi driver, though, Yuri gets it crossed up again. A little bit of a shimmy and a flick. Sheehan's now gone through for P6 on the road. Rapid recovery from the RB. Red, the colour that makes the balls tick, overtakes a red car and now has only got horns to lock with one thing. That's the top 5. Currently, will finish in the top 5 because 6 seconds worth of deficit compared to Infinity. If it finishes like this, Sheehan will easily get 5th place on the road. With how hard these lot are battling, though, Sheehan's got a great chance here, and a really great chance at that. And are we about to see something super special in the TTYB atmosphere and universe, in that Sheehan could potentially finish first on the road here?
Always the chance. I mean, we counted out Yuri in Austria, and then he came through to a win. Sheehan was in the mix of that battle as well for the win. Never count out the Welshman here in TTYB. He does throttle, he does bottle, but the one thing that's certain, he has got the pace. Apply the power on the exit of the heaven with the top 5 quintuple run down towards the chicane we go. We're about to head on to lap number 60 and 70, and like you mentioned, it's absolutely blitz on by.
Nola's still the only one without penalties as well. And I think purely for that, that's driver of the day material. Those two, though, are starting to hear boss music because the leaders are coming through and the lappening is about to begin. Ethan Logan's pace, absolutely stellar. If only he didn't have 9 seconds worth of penalties. Different conversation entirely. Who's gone off the road, Chris Kamara?
So his face went very wide off the road, took the Kimi Antonelli line almost there as he made his way through the turns, turns two. I got my word mixed up. So his face, luckily, didn't lose as much time as Antonelli did. Let's hope it's not a sign of what's to come. Let's hope he doesn't lock up and go straight on into the chicane like Antonelli did when trying to side on the inside at this particular corner. Will history repeat itself? Will real life go into this sim-racing world? No, he is better than Kimi Antonelli.
Infinite Candy Floss just aura farming at this point as well. Showboating. I've seen at least 6 power slides on this particular lap. Will there be another power slide into the hairpin? No, actually, there wasn't. It was a lazy mid-corner slide, but nothing absolutely classic. As Pat Mike says, Ferrari is bottling classic. They bottled ages ago, my friend. Have you seen the number of penalties Infinity Candy Floss has? Yuri, though, with a chance on Chowdenby. Chance denied. You don't get it by being only half-hearted. You've got to put in the full fat move. So now there's another chance into turn number 1. 10 tours now as they cross the line to go of the Canadian Grand Prix. Chowdenby holding down what is the race lead when penalties are applied. Yuri trying to prize it off him, still on those mediums, but now the hards very much finding the ascendancy. We have another yellow flag. It's only because James is letting through the lead train. Very well and diligently done from the Mercedes. Sir with face, again closing in, burns the battery, has the inside line for the left-hander. Can the Audi do it? So nice, trying it thrice. No, Yuri with all the answers to the question of the Audi.
But now all Chowdenby has to do is hold this position, and seeing these two battle behind with music to resist. Yellow flags aren't there because I believe just it was Nulla just getting out of the way of this leading 5 here. Sheehan hasn't really made any inroads on this top 5, so maybe just settling for P6. Will be P5 actually after penalties are applied. Just needs to make sure he stays within that 6-second window of the Scarlet Ferrari. Will make the run down towards the final chicane. Yuri again will be closing in. But the question has to be asked though, Carl, when does Yuri say enough and enough? I've got to make this move to win this Grand Prix.
Sooner rather than later. The mediums are not going to have the supremacy over the hards anymore. I would hazard a guess as to that. Chowdenby is in the perfect position to win this race. Doesn't have to make a move stick. Can just hold it where it is. And hold the ascendancy in terms of warnings as well. Taking a much narrower line. So interesting to see the different lines that they take as Mackie goes through on Katie round the outside to take a top 10 place. Has more penalties. There's contact. Snapping and sliding. Somehow they both stay in a straight line. Fair play. Mercedes of James gets out of the way, again for some more traffic. Well done, the back markers. Good to see. Sheehan isn't actually making much of an impression. Will just dip under 5 seconds compared to the cars ahead for a fleeting moment. Time very much running out, so it becomes a 3-horse race for the race win. And Yuri's listened to the call. He says enough is enough. Looks for the move into the hairpin. Takes a very, very late break and the outside line to set up the exit. Run down to the chicane. It's now or possibly never for the race win here in Canada. Burning everything that they have towards the chicane to the inside. This is it from the Flying Dutchman for a potential race win. He's been thwarted. Chowdenby with the defence. Sir with face goes through. And that could be curtains for the championship leader.
Here we go, the championship leader going side by side, and he's dropped to 5th. Going for the net race lead, drops down to 5th position, and is that's surely the Montreal bid for glory dashed in an instant. Has been mushed up after contact with his previous rival for the title, Chowdenby, now in prime position again. I think that was just a race instant from what I saw. They've bold to go side by side, too wide in that chicane. Chowdenby rightfully was able to hang it around the outside, but it was just minor contact which sent Yuri into a half spin. I have to see what the shoe and say if it does get reported, but now it's Serwith's face versus Chowdenby in the context of the lead for the Grand Prix.
And so it face actually looks even more racy than what Yuri did. Scratch that, he's already going for it. Down the inside goes the Audi driver, and we have a new race leader and a new potential race winner. Yuri took a matter of many, many laps to make the move stick. So with face says, nay, I'll do it in a matter of corners. He hasn't saved the battery though. Chowdenby left only just about enough real estate on the outside to blitz on through with extra battery at his disposal. However, the tank's been rejuvenated for the Audi. Going to try it again towards turn number 1. Late on the brakes. Look at the confidence from Sir with Face, who again makes a brave and brilliant move to take the lead of the race.
From downtown, the Audi sighs on through, and his eyes now on Ethan Logan. It's sweet if you win the Grand Prix. It's even sweeter if you get to take that checkered flag first. So that 64 of 70 here. Infinity Candyfloss now trying to attack the Red Bull driver as well, and Shandy's hopes of a first race win of this season might be dashed at an instant because Sirwith's Face getting close all the while, but needs to just try and recharge some of that battery as they apply their power on the run down to the hairpin. Will we see another challenge? The Audi loves this hairpin, but on this occasion, not close enough. Maybe Shaldenby might just try and sit back a bit, recharge some battery. He's got 20% more as they exit the hairpin. We make the run towards the final chicane, and can Shaldenby now try and re-challenge the Audi? He'll be gaining all the while. Sirwith's Face will also be gaining all the while. On Ethan Logan, we go towards the final chicane, and in this occasion, the top 5 will all stay line astern. Meanwhile, amongst all this battling still, Sheehan is still losing to these guys.
Yeah, Sheehan's still losing out, but I think that's purely just down to the medium tyres now. They're well past their sell-by date. Nothing else that Sheehan can give in terms of extracting performance in this race. But Sir with Face tries to go through on Ethan Logan. Ethan defends, is entitled to do so, even with 9 seconds of penalties. It is pure track position that's on offer here, and pure pride at the end of it. Again, another blitz of the battery in towards turn number 6. That seems to be a happy hunting ground for the Audi driver. Hasn't really amounted to much at the moment. Again, sharp intake of breath in commentary corner. It's all again reaching a boiling point. We're nearly 5 tours of the way towards the end of this race. And that would be quite something. However, Sir with Face might have put himself out of the conversation entirely. He's got another penalty. Goes down the inside, overcooks it completely. Sir with Face has thrown it away in a matter of corners. Penalty and almost losing yet another place to Chowdenby. Has got nothing left in the tank. And Chowdenby, it could be easy pickings here.
That shadow of a doubt. The sharp shot of breath was because Candyfloss was near on sideways through turn number 6. And the context for the lead, though, side by side we run. The Audi to the inside line. Can he go brave on the brakes enough on this occasion? No. Ethan Logan able to hold that lead. Sheen was another time penalty. Gonna have to do a good job now to try and get within that 6 second of Infinity Candyfloss. As we make our run towards turn number 2. All Shaldenby has to do now, keep it clean, or Yuri Aarons could maybe win after being in fifth. Around the outside of turn 4 towards turn number 6. On the inside we go. Sirwith's Face of the Audi takes the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix. Oh!
Sir with Face goes round. All the hard work unravels, and suddenly the 4 rings shattered. It's all about Red Bull. Chowdenby's in the prime position to win again.
Yeah, to spin on the exit, they call it yellow flag because I think he's just actually just driven straight into the ball, which he has. Now out of frustration here, wide went the Williams momentarily, then they applied the power on the rundown towards the final chicane. 5 to go, 4 to go, and we cross that line. Ethan from Shaldenby, then it's Candyfloss. Yuri has to put the throttle on here. He has to ensure he's within striking distance of Shaldenby, but those medium tyres all the time are going to be fading. The gift of what he got from the safety car might have just turned into some misery here.
As the great saying goes, the rite of passage.
Oh, Chowdenby!
He throttled, Chowdenby's gone off all of a sudden. Everyone throttles, everyone bottles. Yuri's now through into the lead of this race. What on earth is going on?
There was contact between Infinity Candyfloss and Shaldenby through turn 1 towards turn 2. I think might have been collision as Shaldenby might have turned in, or maybe just tyre hooked there. But nonetheless, it's the gift of what was a safety car might have turned into misfortune. Yuri, that might have just been the gift he needed. Lap 67 of 70, Shaldenby's bid for Canadian glories dashed in an instant. Yuri challenging now for the lead of the Grand Prix. And we've seen drama and controversy. Can we see more drama, more action, more controversy? Around the outside, Nulla's retired. Safety car!
Oh my god. We have a final safety car. With a matter of laps to go. Fortis is also out of this race. Has he crashed to the wall of champions as well? I think we've just seen Nolla and Fortis both crash. I suspect Fortis into Nolla as a byproduct. Oh my god. Well, Suddenly, it's become an all-out blitz
Yuri
to the
stays
end.
out.
Yuri stays out. Chowdenby stays out. Infinity cuts the chicane, but also stays out. Ethan Logan has pit. Ethan Logan into the pit. Sheehan doesn't pit. Surely more people are going to peel in and be bold and go for a set of soft tyres until the end. Safety car's not going to stay out for another lap, though. It's literally going to be this lap, and then that's it. So you got to hope that you catch up, for God's sake. This suddenly got very interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Logan, it makes sense for Logan. He was the leader, so if he came into the pit lane, he would easily catch up. The question is going to be like Osman and Tanidram. Will they maybe be able to make it back to the safety car? Is it Osman? I'm sorry, it's the Audi. Sorry, of Herbie. I think I might be colorblind. Nonetheless, though, Yuri leads from Shaudenby. It's game on again with a 2-lap shootout in Montreal.
Oh, yes. Strap yourselves in, ladies and gentlemen, because this is about to get tasty. Towards the end of the Sector 2 split we go. So, again, under safety car, what are we doing? It's not that deep breath. Safety car in this lap. A brief interlude as Nola spoons it into the wall of champions, which might be a positive premonition. But anyway, Ethan Logan on the soft compound tyres is currently P6. Now, bearing in mind, he has to overtake 5 cars and then get another 6 seconds down the road to stop either Yuri or Chowdenby winning this race. It's an impossible order, realistically, with 2 laps to go. But never say never. A podium could still be on the cards here.
I mean, don't count a podium out. At least he needs to get 3 seconds on Hazard here, as we got 2 laps to go. He needs to get 3 seconds on Hazard, who's got a 6-second penalty here. There's no soft tyres. The age is different. It is game on in Montreal. 2 to go here. It's been an absolute age of a Grand Prix. It's dashed on by. It's slowed down all the while. 1 done already. If he can sail on through around the outside of turn number 2. 1 down, 4 to go for the Williams man.
Good start from Ethan Logan. What can he do next round? Turn 3 and 4. Bit of battery to boost. He's going to have way more confidence on the brakes. Does he dare? Absolutely he dares. Down the inside. Big contact on the side pod as Sheehan tried to make the apex his own. Not today, sunshine. Ethan Logan's through for P4, gunning for a podium very, very quickly indeed. Chowdenby going to pile on the pressure on Yuri, and he's got to make it count because there's only 1 1/4 laps, basically, of the Canadian Grand Prix track. Ethan to boost in towards the hairpin, late on the brakes, soft compound tyres. Does he dare to hold it round the outside? Yes, he does. Through he goes into P3.
What a move from the Williams. And it was a question, could he get to the front? He might be able to. He can throw a spanner in the works here between Shaudenby and Yuri, because these two, they're going to have their own scrap here. As we go, there's get Caddy Foot. Oh, tried to get it on the inside line, but again, just thought better of it, backed out of it. 1 to go in Montreal. Yuri v Shaudenby in the context of the overall win. Yuri v Shaudenby v Ethan in terms of the pride of taking the checkered flag first. We've got 2 sectors to go in a couple of moments' time. Who's going to take it?
Does Ethan want to take it on the track? Osman takes the fastest lap of the race, currently down in P10, but plenty of positions to inherit if he keeps the gap close. Towards turn number 6, Chowdenby gets the car nice and wide as he possibly can, to stop Ethan interfering with the battle. So with Face now takes the fastest lap, only just, but he's in absolute no man's land. In P11, it's all about the front 3. Through the chicane we go. For the final time, it looks ever more likely that championship leader Yuri is going to take another race win, and a memorable race win at that. But Chowdenby sends the nose down the inside. Does he have enough battery to do it? Does he have the traction to do it? No, he does not. Yuri's going to burn everything he has. Chowdenby has the slipstream. Time is running out, though. Ethan Logan to the outside. It's going to be side by side through the final chicane to sort it. Not today. Through the final corners. Cutthroat Canada. A fabulous fairy tale. Photo finish. Oh my goodness me. Chowdenby wins by 12 thousandths to take his first race win since season 4. To wrap up what has been the most fabulous of fairy tales. Oh my goodness me. What an ending to the Canadian Grand Prix.
What a ending. If you include Logan, the top 3 across the line, 39 milliseconds they were separated by. For 70 laps, 12 milliseconds between the top 2. The reigning world champion takes it. And do you want to know something that's quite funny? Before this race, he showed the drag race between himself and Yuri in Australia in season 3. They've just done it again.
It's like it was meant to be. Sheldonby wins the Canadian Grand Prix. And who on earth saw that coming? We've also got to remember, there's been some penalties applied. Osman's done it again. He's taken P3 again. Aussie Osman, colour me impressed. And that's the reward you reap for keeping your nose clean. Ferrari have a second podium in a row. Wow. What a race it has been. Reigning champion versus champion awaiting. And another podium. 2 in a row for Osman. That is your top 3. In fact, you're hard-pressed to find anyone who doesn't have a penalty. In fact, no one who finished didn't have a penalty. It's terrible. You've then got Ethan Logan, though, in P4. He was 2 tenths away from claiming a podium of his own, even with 9 seconds of penalties. But it wasn't to be. Hazard takes P5 as well. Konnichiwa to big points, my friend. Sheehan in P6, Mackie in 7th, Infinity drops down to 8th, Cindy 9th, Herbie rounds out the top 10, Tanidran, Sir with Face, Katie, and then James round out our finishing order. I do not believe that race. That was absolute insanity.
Insanity, but superlative action. Safe to say, 12 milliseconds across the line. When do you see that ever in Formula One? Like you get it in qualifying, you don't ever get it in Grand Prix action. And if I had 2 nickels every time Yuri and Sheldonby had the drag race on the line, I'd have 2, which isn't a lot, but it's quite insane. It's happened twice.
Indeed, yeah, and both times favouring the reigning champion. The season finale of season 3, and now a pivotal moment in season number 5. Incredible race from Sheldonby. Again, first race win since season 4. It's been a long time coming, but it's finally happened. I would say do interviews, however, I've annoyingly got to rush off, which is annoying. But we can counter through a couple of things. First of which is driver of the day. Who do we give it to?
I think there's only one answer to that. Surely Sheldonby.
I think it's got to be. I'll give it to Osman, actually. Do you know what? Kept his nose clean. Inherited from P10, P3. And that's what you get if you're clean and consistent at Canada. But Sheldonby, you probably, you monster driver of the day, my friend.
My prediction was right.
But well played. Your prediction was very correct. Mine was wrong. He finished well on the track, but did have the penalties that would have spanned the whole Lord of the Rings franchise. And so he didn't finish P1, which is a shame. Well, that is quite something. Sheldonby, big drag race to the line. Takes it by the meekest of margins, which is not unlike Tuesday, if you remember Tuesday. And if you don't, I'm not crazy. You're crazy. And if you've cottoned on to what we're doing, I'll tell you now, we've completed the checklist. Just saying. That is how you do it. That's been TTYB. Massive thank you, all of you, for being here, for watching what has been an incredible Canadian Grand Prix. There's your list. Completely smashed out of the park. Make sure, if you aren't already, please hit follow on the Twitch channel, but also join all of these supreme socials that we have. A lovely Discord server for one, of which there are more members than there are followers on Twitch, which I find quite interesting. So if you aren't following, make sure you do. Big 200 on Twitch is incoming very quickly. Rio, what a pleasure it has been to be in the commentary box with you, my friend. Where can the lovely people find you on an internet?
I'll tell you where they can't find me. They can't find me in the Sahara Desert, mainly because I have no money to get there. But where they can find me is Rio Harris F1 on all the socials. I have actually been kind of posting quite a lot now. I've actually kind of locked in with it.
Yes.
What about you? Where can they find you?
Oh, I'll tell you where they can't find me. Baghdad. You won't find me there. But where you will find me is at my name, Carl Paranik. If you type that in, it's in the title. So is Rio's. Go and follow him. He's amazing. But both our names are there. You'll probably find me there. But that has been quite something. A sensational spectacle from start to finish in what was very much a marathon, not a sprint, until the very end, where it apparently was a sprint. Interesting how those dynamics work. Sheldonby with his first race win in a long, long time. But will he go again? Next time out at the Italian Grand Prix, the Temple of Speed awaits, and robed in royalty, all of our drivers will go for the ultimate prize. Thank you for watching, take care of yourselves, and goodbye.
till you bottle. Ride it on the edge. One mistake away from gravel, a glory's ledge. Push it past the limit. Don't you lift or break. If you're not dancing with disaster, you're not wide awake. Throttle till you bottle. This is how we race. In the fire of endurance, we find our place. Side by side into turn 3. Drafting down the straight like we're born to be. F1 pace with an LMP soul. Pit stop dreams, flat out goals. Overtake clean or defend like hell. DRS wide and the gap won't dwell. Discord's lit, but the track comes first. Champions are built where the tires bust. Throttle till you bottle. Feel the G's rise. Tearing through the sim world under pixel skies. No reset button, just grit and gears. Through the heat and the heartbreak, the wins and the tears. Till you bottle. It's the racer's creed. Full send in the sim, full heart at speed. From rookies to vets,